Hello and welcome to the Rob Burgess Show. I'm of course your host, Rob Burgess. On this, our 300th episode, our returning guest is Ash Burgess. Ash Burgess has been a guest on dozens of episodes of the podcast. For a complete list, check the show notes. Ash Burgess has a dusty degree in religious studies and an appetite for both high and low culture. She strives to celebrate the best of every season with her young children. Follow her on Instagram and subscribe to her YouTube channel. And now, on to the show. Welcome back to the Rob Burgess Show, Ash Burgess.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. June already, somehow.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, man. I'm feeling a little bit, I'm like excited that it's June, because this is a big month for us, but I'm also a little bit like, how are we here so fast? I need like a sandwich month between May and June to kind of finish fitting in all the stuff that I need to do before it actually can be June.
Yes. So, as people may or may not know, if they've been listening to the most recent episodes, I guess when was the last one we did? It was several months ago.
It would have been, was it after Christmas? Question mark?
Mm-hmm. January, possibly.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it's been a few months. We did a podcast when we first announced our pregnancy.
And now we're like, this is baby month. Like, she's definitely going to be here before July.
Yeah, it's a matter of days at this point. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's call it weeks. Let's not call it days.
Weeks are made up of days.
Yes. But I need several weeks to finish getting ready.
We have several days, but not.
Yeah, no, I need. It makes me sound like I'm like so not ready. It's just, I mean, I am not ready in the sense that I feel like so many other things in life, there's a lot of getting ready that, you know, for one reason or another, it's too soon to do up until the moment when it's finally time to do it, and now it almost feels like it's like we should have really done this already.
Yeah. But we've done a lot.
We have. I mean, we dealt with, like, the Tetris game of figuring out how to reconfigure all the car seats.
Yes. Into
the car. That was probably the thing that I was most initially stressed about, like, logistics-wise. I mean, just...
Ford Explorer for the win.
Yes. Definitely for the win, and, like, the right model that actually seats...
Because you said there's other models of our car that wouldn't have...
There are some Explorers that I think only seat 6 people. Ours seats 7. And some also can't accommodate as many car seats because we have the bench seats, not the pilot seats. If you have the pilot seats, you lose some seating. It's just like a whole... And some have inflatable seat belts that then you can't put a car seat there. There's like... We have like one of the few combinations of the various features that would fit all the seats that we need, because I mean we're still like just age and size wise we're looking at, you know, we've got a combination of boosters and various car seats. We've got like 5 seats that we had to get in there, and we also had to purchase like 4 new seats, so that was a lot.
Yeah, there's a middle seat in the middle row, but there's not a middle seat in the back row.
Yes, but at least, I mean, that's the thing, is that some, you know, if you have pilot seats, you wouldn't have a middle seat.
Then you only have 2 and 2.
Middle row, and then it's just kind of over.
Man.
But yeah, because we've got the convertible car seat for the toddler, we've got the infant seat for the new baby, and we've got, like, various boosters for the 3 older ones.
Yeah. So that was a lot.
Yeah, that was extreme. I mean, while I was trying to figure out the exact configuration that would work for all the seats to get properly installed and then properly install them, it was one of those things where, like, in retrospect, like, obviously this is not the hardest thing I've done in my life, but while I was, like, in the thick of it, I was like, man, this is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like, just when you know that something has gotta work, but it's like, you keep having to make small adjustments and changes to, like, figure out how everything can work. And it's not just how can the seats be properly installed, but also there's personality issues as far as ideally who do we want sitting with who, or facing who, or pointing towards who, or who gets...
I have to say I think lowered a lot of the fighting with just the reconfiguration. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, well, some people do well when they can sit side by side and whisper and plan.
Yeah, or
some people do better when they are not looking at each other.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
They can be better friends when they're not making eye contact.
Exactly.
But yeah, not only did we have to get another seat, also some of our people outgrew what they were in, and other people's seats expired in the meantime. So,
well, that was the thing, is that we moved. Like, we had an infant car seat, but it was expired. So we couldn't use the infant car seat, even though it was in perfectly fine condition. Mm-hmm. After we had used it for 2 babies, mm-hmm. and then we still had it, but it was just not going to be able to be used. I mean, for safety purposes or whatever, I think you need one that's not expired.
Yeah.
And then, so I mean, we were really only able to have one of the seats that we already owned that we were able to just keep, and all the others were just like complete overhaul.
Mm-hmm. But we did get to the other side of that.
And I'm excited too, because 3 of the seats that we bought should just go for the rest of however long those people need to be in seats at all.
Yeah.
Even though I think, technically height-wise, I might still need a booster seat. So at a certain point, I think you just have to I was thinking about this too, like, if you're like because I'm not like a clinically small person, I'm just like a short adult. But if you're like an actual like little person, at a certain point, you're just kind of deciding, I'm gonna just not have. I mean, maybe you do have some kind of a booster or something.
If you're really short, you probably do.
But still, it's like, you're
Plus
still deciding, like, if you can drive your car and you're sitting in the front seat, even though technically it wouldn't be safe for someone of your stature to sit in the front seat.
Well, if you get a booster, I think you can get the extenders for the, like...
For the feet?
Yeah, feet part.
No, but I'm just saying, like, in general, like, when they talk about, like, when can your child sit in the front seat safely, mm-hmm. there's, like, a height and a weight requirement. And I'm saying at a certain point, if you're like a real small adult, you're just like, look, I'm never going to meet the height and weight requirement, but I've decided I'm going to still be going into the front of the car. You know?
Definitely.
I've only thought about this because, I mean, none of our children are like little people, but they are all of fairly small stature for their, age.
Yes, and that becomes very apparent when we go to places with other children.
Yes, like,
their age range.
I don't think about them as being real small until they'll, like, when sometimes it's like when your 11-year-old is standing next to another 11-year-old and the other 11-year-old is like 2 feet taller than them.
Yes, exactly.
Or,
Or your 8-year-old is standing next to a 9-year-old and...
Yeah, or your 8-year-old is standing next to like a 6-year-old, and the 6-year-old mistakes them for another 6-year-old because they're the same size. And the thing is, I think it doesn't really matter once with kids that your kids know, because I mean, obviously they know how old they are.
Yes.
It is definitely weird when they're meeting people, though.
Yeah,
because there's that assumption, like, oh, you're my age, or oh, you're not my age. Mm. And I think that they do get especially like upset when people assume that they are younger than they really are.
Yeah.
Or even when, like, kids that are obviously younger than them think that they're the same age as them just because they're, like, sized similarly. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's, like, a whole side tangent, but...
Yeah, but you also went through quite a process picking out the stroller.
Yes.
Because the stroller is also having to be compatible with the car seat, so that was part of the... equation.
The thing is, I did such a good job picking the strollers that we originally bought, mm-hmm. that we have a stroller that we got, we got this stroller before our firstborn was born. Mm-hmm. So this would have been, he's going to turn 12 this summer.
Yeah.
And the stroller itself is...
still going.
It's in great condition. It's a wonderful stroller.
Yeah.
And we have another stroller that we got. We have a double that we got, 3 years later when we grew our family. And it's also in great shape. Mm-hmm. But it's become obsolete in the sense that the thing that I really need most in the stroller, as far as like for this summer and fall and winter and, you know, the coming months, given that we have a 3-year-old who, you know, he's newly 3, I can't count on him to be on the loose and take a walk with me and like a newborn. So I need a double stroller where I can have the newborn and also the toddler, like, so that the toddler's like contained. You know, I really just need something to like contain him so that I'm able to like get out of the house and around and about.
Yeah.
So that's like the main thing that I need. So I need something that, and also we want something where, you know, if we're going to like the doctor's office or a quick trip or something, we want it to be able to click the car seat in and out of the double stroller. Yeah. But these strollers that we bought, you know, a decade or more ago, although they're in great shape because I originally did a lot of research and got great strollers, they're completely obsolete in that the car seats, the way that the car seats latch into the base of like the car seat base for like the infant car seat, for whatever reason they changed these things to the point where now there's not a connection between the ancient stroller and the new car seat. I mean, we originally had to, with our last, like with our 4th, I had to search really hard to find the adapters that went, or maybe it was with our 3rd. Whenever I last was buying adapters that went with our older car seat, I remember I had to really search to find something that was compatible. And now it's just like the compatibility is over because they're not even making that kind of stroller anymore. And apparently, I don't know why the car seats have changed or whatever. I mean, I guess it's good. One nice thing, though, as far as, I'm saying I don't know why they've changed, but here's something that's nice. Everything is so much lighter now. I mean, you picked up the new car seat.
Yeah.
Think how much lighter that was than the other car seats we've carried around.
True, but you just got done saying how durable and long-lasting the...
Yes, I mean, I do love how long-lasting our other things are, but I mean, I am excited about how light the new stroller and the new car seat are. Like, the feeling of pushing them along and not straining like I'm driving a tank will be exciting.
Yes.
So, I mean, even though I kind of resented having to get a new stroller, I was kind of excited. I mean, probably having to get a new car seat I resent more because I don't really get excited about car seats. I just kind of want them to work.
Yeah, I just want them to be there.
The stroller is exciting because, like, you know, I've had other strollers that I eyed in the past. And I didn't have, like, a good enough reason to actually need to get a different stroller, and now I finally did. So, I mean, even though it was a big expense, it is kind of exciting to have a fresh new stroller that I've, like, looked at before and thought, like, oh, that would be cool.
Next up is the wagon, though, right?
I still want a stroller wagon.
How many people does that fit?
There is a quad. That's the biggest one I've seen.
That can fit 4?
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like maybe our oldest 2 kids would probably be too big or too large or whatever to get in it anyway, but I'm just thinking like maybe the smallest 3 could get in the stroller wagon if we're like all at the zoo or something.
That would be good.
I can really envision some scenarios where it would be nice to have the stroller wagon.
Yeah.
Especially because, I mean, with the double stroller, I mean, not only is it just, you know, it's a double, we're not fitting 3 people in there, but also I feel like sometimes kids don't want to ride in the stroller because they feel like, oh, you're forcing me to ride in the stroller. But a wagon is like, ooh, we're having fun, you know? Also, there's so many weird configurations when it comes to double strollers. Like, when I was researching the new one to get, there's so many things where it's like, you have to get the second seat, but the second seat can only go on the bottom of the stroller, even though the second seat has a lower weight capacity, and there's just all kinds of weird things to think about. It's another thing where there's just, like, a lot of calculations to make. I mean, I probably could have just impulsively bought something randomly, but I really wanted to get the right thing. I did almost get something that I'm really glad I didn't get.
What?
Well, I was looking at this sort of... It's kind of like... I don't know if I should name names because I'm going to say bad things about it. And I haven't personally used it. But
okay. I don't have any sponsorships. So
okay.
You can say whatever you want.
So for a while I was looking at this stroller called the Mockingbird. And which, I mean, it's funny because it's kind of, even in the name, it kind of implies what it is. Basically, it's like a dupe of the more expensive stroller.
Okay.
And I was kind of, like, I was, like, fairly interested in it because, like, I saw a lot of good reviews that were like, yeah, this does everything that other stroller does, but the Mockingbird is, like, $300 or $400 less than, like, the other stroller that it's the Mockingbird of, you know. But I did test it out in the store, and it definitely feels less nice. But I was still, like, you know, the savings.
Yeah.
But then I started, as I was digging deeper into more reviews, I started finding out that, first of all, there was a huge recall, like, a couple years back. Because apparently there was this metal stabilizing rod that would just snap. And apparently a lot of times it would snap, like, while people were, like, going down the street. Like, I found all these stories of people that were like, I was crossing an intersection and then suddenly the whole thing just, snapped.
It's terrible.
To be fair, that was the Mockingbird 1.0, and I think they're in, like, 2.0 or maybe even 3.0 now.
Wow.
But with 1.0, there was a huge recall because, like, there was, like, a important stabilizing piece that, like, snapped. After I read that, I was kind of turned off, and then more stories started to pour in about just, like, general collapsing. I watched a few YouTube reviews and even some positive reviews where people were like, we love our stroller. The company just sent us a new one because our old one has died.
Oh, man.
But, so, yeah, it's like...
That's pretty serious.
Yeah, so I ended up not going with that one, although it would have been cheaper.
But the medical bills would not have been cheaper.
This is true. Plus, I knew that whatever stroller we got, I probably wasn't going to upgrade after this. So I was like, I should just get the one I actually want rather than just spending the rest of my life as a stroller owner and, you know, having envy of the people that got the actual one they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am, like, I don't know, I'm kind of, like, to a small degree, I would say I'm, like, a baby products, like, enthusiast. Like, I'm like, the person that's interested in, like, researching and, like, finding, like, what is the best one.
Mm-hmm. You're very good at it.
I am very good at it. It's a blessing and a curse, though, because it's, like, it's one of those things where it's, like, I overthink things, and it makes me great at making the right choices, but it also kind of drives me nuts, too, because it's, like, the kind of thing that I'll be, like, thinking about at night when I should be sleeping.
Mm. But what other baby products are we... Oh, there's the new...
The new high chair.
See, yeah.
Yes. So the high chair was another thing that we already owned, but then have had to replace because, so we had to get a new high chair.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one of the things that we already owned, but we've gone past the tipping point. That's the thing with having the fifth baby, is that I think at about baby number 3, we probably were at that sweet spot of, like, we already own all the things.
Yeah.
And they all are in great shape, and we're just totally, like, we don't even, like, really need that much, and it's great. Fifth baby, it's at that tipping point where everything that we already owned has now, you know, expired or died. So, like, the high chair, our 3-year-old is still sitting in the high chair, but I'm very excited because, once again, I was able to now get something that I had always wanted and hadn't had before, and, you know, there was no call for me to upgrade our other high chair because it was doing great until it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have entered into the exciting world of the Trip Trap high chair, which claims to be a forever chair, which, I mean, we'll see, because I've never really seen anyone using one of those forever, but...
Forever's a long time.
I do like that it can be used for many years, like a small child can sit in it as a chair properly, not just as a chair, like we're using the other one as a chair, even though maybe we shouldn't be.
No, it looks like, you know, substantial.
I also really like that the body is made of wood.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just like there's, you know, plastic in like the tray, and there's some plastic components to like hold the infant in or whatever. But the actual body of the chair is wooden, which I'm really excited when I'm able to get products that are made of more like natural materials.
Yeah.
And it looks cool.
Totally. So
yeah, we had to get a new high chair. We still haven't gotten a new swing, but we probably need to.
Yes.
The swing is one of those purchases that I'm really hesitant about. Because I feel like the swing can be such a lifesaver, but the cost of the swing compared to the limited window of time in which we're going to use it just feels kind of like not great.
Yeah, totally.
And it's such a risk because, you know, if you get the wrong swing, the baby will hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we do still have a Mamaroo that we got, like, way back in the day. Like, that thing is probably, like, almost 10 years old now. I'm not even planning to unpack that, though, because the last 2 babies we've had have refused to go into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were just like, no.
Hmm.
You remember this.
Yes.
Also, it started to develop with the last round, too. Remember that weird clicking sound?
Oh, that drives me crazy. Yeah.
And it also has been through a recall, because remember that weird strappy thing that we had to install?
Yes.
So between that, all those things, I'm like, I don't really want. Like, I don't even know if this is worth, like, trying to set up.
We definitely need one, though.
We do. I'm probably going to, like, wait until, like, we desperately need to impulse buy it when she's, like, 2 weeks old or something, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of my plan at this point. Because I don't... some things, like the high chair, I was so excited to get, and, like, the stroller and the car seat was like, okay, well, I need to make sure we have this. The swing, I'm just not excited enough about it to, like, make myself pull the trigger until I, like, actually reach a point of desperation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way it moves is very important to its success.
I want something that goes, like, front to back, not side to side. And I feel like everything wants to go side to side, but babies actually want to go front to back.
Makes sense.
That's my theory.
Yeah. It's been true for our children, I feel.
I did find one that's very popular that has the ability to go front to back, but it just seems so, like, lightweight and spindly.
Mm-hmm.
And here's an area where I'm not excited about how all the equipment's become lighter. Like, I don't want the swing to be light. I don't want it to feel like it's going to get knocked over if, like, our toddler runs up to it or something. I want it to be very, very heavy.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to weigh, like, 75 pounds. I want it to be so heavy that I don't think that I could, like, move it up the stairs by myself.
Yeah. Totally.
So that's another reason why I've hesitated, because the one that I found, it, like, weighs, like, 10 pounds or something, and I was like, why? It's not what I want. It's the opposite of what I want.
Yeah. It's not very many pounds.
I also want something that's, like, looks good, but not in, like, too robotic of a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like some things look so futuristic that I'm just kind of like, that's not the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want it to necessarily look like an antique or anything, but I don't want it to look, like, too, like, cold, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not like the humans are dead, exactly.
Exactly. Humans are dead, and so I will encircle you in my robotic arms.
Exactly.
Like that, what was that movie we saw where, like, that girl was raised by, like, this, it was like a spaceship or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then the people, I can't remember, did the people die or something, so then the spaceship had to, like, raise the little girl that was living in it.
I don't remember
I don't know.
the name of that, but
Yeah.
I remember what you're
You know what I'm talking
about. Yes.
But anyway, what, like, as far as, like, baby, like, preparations and acquisitions, what are you most excited about?
Mergers and acquisitions.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, while I was glad that we got the car seat figured out, that was definitely a huge thing. Because, I mean, like you said, if it hadn't, we would have to get a new car, so that would have been a bigger issue.
Yeah.
So I was glad we were able to make it work with what we already had. I do like how light the stroller is. That is a definite upside. I am actually excited about the idea of the stroller wagon.
Yeah.
Or the wagon. Is that what
Yeah,
it's
the
called?
stroller. It's called stroller wagon. Yeah, that we haven't actually.
Well, I've been
gotten
like
yet,
watching
now.
other
Now
people.
you're noticing.
Now that you've
people.
like put me on that train of thought.
I was thinking that would be something to get, like, maybe around, like, her, like, first birthday or something.
Yeah. I definitely think we need a swing.
We do.
I just feel like it's such an essential baby item. Because it's like you have to be able to put the baby down somewhere that they're gonna, like, enjoy being, at least for a minute.
I'm very
sometimes.
excited that we still have, you know what has not broken?
What?
That baby Bjorn little bouncing seat.
Oh yeah, that's
Babies
right.
love those.
They do.
If I was going to be like, okay, you need one place to put the baby down, I'd be like that bouncing seat. The
Yes.
only problem is that we make really small people.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though that bouncing seat is technically suitable from birth, you have to be over 8 pounds, which for our babies is going to be like 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's an exaggeration. But I kind of feel like it's not. I feel like I remember waiting a million years every time for them to be able to get in that thing. Once they can get in that, though, they love it.
Mm-hmm. But, speaking of which, we've had her ultrasound recently, too.
Yes.
She was, how many pounds was she then?
I don't believe them. They said that they said she was 5 pounds. That was like a month ago. Which would theoretically mean that she's probably like 6 pounds now, but it's a lie. I mean, first of all, I think they're just mostly, I mean, I know they measure the size of the stomach and the head,
Mm-hmm.
but then other than that, I think they're just measuring like the bone length and sort of estimating like, well, if you're this tall, you're probably this thick.
Mm-hmm.
And that just doesn't apply to our children.
No, not at all.
Also, our biggest baby to date was like 7 pounds 1 ounce,
Mm-hmm.
and that was our second. And the second is like statistically, generally, the largest baby that you have.
Really?
Yes, for
Why is that?
That's the thing. I couldn't ever find out reasons. I've just found out that is apparently true, and that's definitely been true with us because I mean, she was a full pound heavier than anyone else. Everyone else has been just over 6 pounds, like 6'1", 6'2". So I'm working on the assumption that she will be born somewhere between 6 and 7 pounds.
Mm.
She's not going to be, like, based on the scale of the ultrasound that we had like a month ago, she would probably be like 7 pounds by the time she's born. I don't think she's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind if she was like 7 pounds. That's like a nice size for a baby to be. I feel doubtful.
Yeah.
I do kind of feel like she's large, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of her here.
Totally.
I just don't think that she's, like, going to be massively larger than any of the other babies we've had.
That's true.
But the ultrasound was very exciting. We were able to take all the kids with us.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it's such a change from, to be able to take the kids to any sort of medical appointments because our last 2 babies, you know, were both during, like, COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
So to actually be able to take the kids to, like, the ultrasound at, like, the actual, like, ultrasounding place was kind of fun.
Well, let's see, you had one ultrasound when we were at the other place, other doctors for this time, and I couldn't be there, and they wouldn't let you film.
Yeah, and they were just very, I don't know, they were weird at the other place.
And then we did the one that we did at that one third-party place or whatever.
Yeah, and that was cool.
And that was cool because then all the kids got to go to that.
Yeah, and that was nice.
Yeah, and then this time they all got to go again, and they did like the 3D. Like that was. Did they do the 3D at the one we all went to before?
No, I think we just went for like the basic.
Just the
like,
basic.
whatever.
Yeah, I think that was the
I feel like
legal
I feel
package.
like the
or
one that
whatever.
I feel like the one we went to. It's like you would really have to like pay like $100 more or
Yeah.
whatever if you want. To
Which is
go
so
to
unfair
the-
because it's just a button they have to push or whatever that turns it on. So whatever. But yeah, I thought it was cool that we got to do that with everyone there, and they did the 3D, which.
And it was especially cool this time because I mean she was far enough along when we did that most recent ultrasound that she really looks like a baby. Like she's got like fat cheeks and everything.
And she was practicing her mouth movements.
Yes, which I hope doesn't mean that she's like extra hungry in there.
She looked pretty hungry to me.
Yeah, she's moving her mouth. She's like, you could see her lungs practice breathing. You can see all kinds of stuff. It's very exciting. She has hair already.
Oh yeah.
The kids were asking when they're going to be able to do like an ultrasound in color, and I was like, I don't think the technology could ever transfer to color because I mean it's sound waves bouncing, and that then creates the dimensional picture. So it's like there's no way that they can detect what color she is in there.
Yeah.
Because we're all super excited to see what color her hair is.
Yeah. It's the one thing that the ultrasound can't tell us.
Well, and it's the one thing that could be, like, surprising for us, too, just because we do have, you know, we've got 4 kids, and we've got an even split as far as we've got 2 straight hairs and 2 curly hairs. And then we also have, like, 3 brunettes and 1 red. So there's definitely, like, possibilities. It's not like, you know, some families, I feel like, if all your kids just have straight blonde hair, you kind of just know this person's probably going to have straight blonde hair, you know. But with us, it's like, you know, who knows what could happen.
Yeah, right.
So that's been exciting. I do feel a little bit overwhelmed right now, I think, just with, like, getting the odds and ends together, you know?
Yeah.
And just there's a lot on the to-do list as far as, like, we want to make sure that the house is not only super clean, but then somehow stays super clean perpetually so that it is super clean whenever we happen to go to the hospital.
Yeah, right.
And things like that feel a little bit like there's so much that I need to do still. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
And just deciding what do I actually need to get. Really. I've done this so many times before. And I feel like the thing that really differentiates me from a lot of people is that I feel like there's a lot of people that are very into being like, oh, you don't really need anything. And I'm definitely like a person that needs things.
Well, you'd rather have it and not need it, and need it and not have it, right?
Yes, for sure. But I just mean, like, I think that there are a lot of people that take pride in being like, oh, all the baby really needs is, like, some diapers and, like, your breast or whatever. And to me, that's not really true. Because, like, even with breastfeeding, I actually feel like that's where the most, like, needs come in. Because it's like, I need, like, a breastfeeding pillow. And they've redesigned the pillow, so now I have to choose again which pillow to get. And I have to get, like, nipple cream and breast pads and, like, the breast pump. And, like, so there's more to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. No, I know how nice it is to have a well-placed accessory.
Exactly, but I feel like some people, I think, and I mean, if it works for them, that's fine, no shade, but I think some people take pride in, like, the simplicity of being like, oh, I only need a few things, but I think both my personality is definitely to, like, want the accessories, but also, like, situationally, I feel like I've ended up needing things. Like, there are some people that, like, don't need, like, a breastfeeding pillow that can just kind of, like, prop the baby up somehow using their arms. And, like, that has just never worked for me to, like, get the baby to latch properly. Like, you know, there's details like that, like, maybe you do need things and you don't know until it's, like, happening. But I've already been through this, so I do know, in fact, that I need the things.
Sure.
Did I mention already on the other podcast how upset I am that they redesigned the breastfeeding pillow?
I'm not sure, but go ahead.
Well, no, it's just, okay, so we've been using the same brand of breastfeeding pillow for, like, the entire time that I've been breastfeeding. And every baby, though, I've needed to get a new pillow because, I mean, I've fed... Probably I would be able to just use the same pillow over if I only breastfed for, like, 6 months or a year or something. But since I've used the pillow the whole time I've breastfed each child, and I breastfed for, like, nearly 2.5 years every time, you know, the pillow, like, it flattens out, it deflates, you know. So I've needed to get a new one. And I've just been rebuying the same pillow that works. But for whatever reason, the pillow has now been redesigned and it's a different shape.
Oh.
It's very upsetting because it's like, what if this different shape doesn't even work for me? Should I even buy this same pillow again, or should I buy some weird other pillow from a competing company?
I just don't even understand why you would need to do that. It's not like people are doing this that differently.
Supposedly the redesign, according to the company, is better, but I mean, maybe it's not. I was liking it for more than a decade the way it was.
We've been breastfeeding for tens of thousands of years, but...
I was thinking about this, though, and, like...
Late breaking news.
You know how, like, there's, like, supposedly, like, once you do 10,000 hours of something, you're an expert.
Mm-hmm.
So does this mean that I'm a breastfeeding expert now?
Yes.
I think I definitely could be.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely
I mean, maybe not in the sense of, like, having studied how to, like, help other people breastfeed, But, like, I feel like I'm a breastfeeding expert of, like, my own breasts, at least.
You are.
It's sort of interesting to think, like, okay, I've crossed the line of, like, practicing this much.
Yeah. I think you've definitely passed that threshold.
I am happy that, like, I do feel like I know what I'm doing in that department. Because I feel like that's one of those things that can be really daunting when you're first starting out.
Definitely. But do you think it's hard for people to stop?
Oh, you mean it's hard for, like, the children to stop?
Yes.
Yes.
You're so good at it.
Some babies wean themselves at, like, 9 months old. They'll just be like, I am done.
Not our children.
None of our children have ever shown any sign that they were going to stop at will. I am interested to see, with her, since she'll be our last baby, if I will reach a point where I'm done and I decide to wean her, or if I don't ever reach that point and I then see how long she wants to go, what is the actual point where she will want to be done? Just because, with all of the others, I reached a point in my pregnancy where I would be like, I would always, like, breastfeed through, like, the first trimester, and there's something that always would happen in the second trimester where just, like, I developed this, like, intense aversion where, like, I want so badly, like, it's like I cannot be breastfeeding this other person anymore. And I assume that that's related to the pregnancy. But I'm just saying, so I don't know, though, if I'm not pregnant, is it just that I still have a breaking point where my own body will just be like, look, we need to be done? Or will I not have that aversion, and will I be fine going perpetually? And in that case, will she, when she's, like, 3, be like, I'm done? Or will she show no sign of ever wanting to stop, and I'll have to be like, all right, we should cut this off?
What are you doing, like, closing time?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know, because I never had to...
But when, like, let's say that the baby's ready to go, like, continuously. How long? When do you, like... And you're not having the thing where you're like...
I don't know, because I'm saying in the past...
But just philosophically, let's say you had to make the choice.
Well, because in the past, I never had a problem with, like, the mental or whatever aspect of, like, I'm still breastfeeding my 2.5-year-old felt totally fine to me. I feel like I could be breastfeeding, like, a 3-year-old and that would be fine. I don't know how I would feel about them being, like, 4 or 5. I feel like...
It could get weird after
I could get to a point where I was like, this doesn't seem good, like a good fit for us anymore. I don't know what that point is for me because I've never gotten to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I could easily imagine still breastfeeding a 3-year-old and not feeling like it was weird. Without having ever gotten to this point, something about the idea of breastfeeding like a 4 or 5-year-old does seem a little weird to me. Not like weird in a way where I'm judging other people, but just like I might feel weird about it if it was me personally doing it. So I might stop at that point. Like if it feels weird, I'm going to stop.
That's a good way to think of it.
I just have no way of gauging when it might feel weird to me without having potentially the like pregnancy that makes me be like, because it wasn't like, it's none of the times that I have stopped breastfeeding before have I been like, I don't want to breastfeed anymore. It's more like physically, I was like, I cannot stand to do this anymore. But mentally, I was totally okay with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know where my mental, I don't want to do this anymore, or I think this is weird point really will kick in. So, I mean, that will be interesting to see.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm slightly not looking forward to is pumping.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've always kind of struggled with my supply, and, like, pumping has always been, like, essential for me to, like, get it where it needs to be. And I feel like that can be so fatiguing.
Yeah. It looks fatiguing?
It is. And it's one of those things where even though it involves a lot of accessories, I do not enjoy the accessories. I resent having to purchase them.
Yeah.
Even the ones that are coming from insurance for free, supposedly, if they ever show up.
Yeah.
But I am very excited that we have, I think, figured out what her name is. And we're not going to tell people on this episode, so don't get too excited.
No.
People who are listening in the hopes that this is where we reveal more secrets.
But we did reveal we were pregnant on the previous episode,
That's-
and people that listened were rewarded with that information.
And that's why I'm saying that those people who were previously rewarded were probably hoping for further rewards in this
I hope the
episode.
reward that you will have is just a great time listening to a fascinating podcast where you will not learn this information.
Yes.
But we have been talking about how we want to reveal the
And
name.
I don't know, like, we had a couple ideas that I don't know if we're actually gonna, like, get it together to, like, create the like dramatic reveal. Like, well, like we talked about doing, like, I've seen a video where, like, you have the names, like, each one's written on a balloon, and then you have, like, maybe a collection of balloons, like, you know, one is the actual name and a couple are names that you maybe considered and then eliminated. And then each person who was the one that vetoed the name, like, pops the balloon until you're left with one balloon. We talked about doing something in that kind of vein.
Yeah.
Like, elimination style. I do think it would be... I kind of want to do that just because, like, we considered a lot of good names.
Yeah.
And I do feel like if people saw a list of all the names we considered, they would either be very excited or very horrified. We'll just be like, what's even happening here?
Yes.
Well, because picking a name this time was pretty hard. I think it gets harder every time.
I mean, especially if you're, like, trying to have some kind of, like, overarching philosophy or internal rules or...
In some ways, it might have been hardest the first time because with our first, you know, we didn't know will we be able to have more after this. So it felt like this is our one shot, possibly. I think it was the easiest probably with our second. I feel like her name just kind of like was like boom.
Yes.
We did have another name that we were going with, and then we switched. We were like, oh, but wait. And then as soon as we had the name that she actually ended up with, though, it just was like, yeah. You know? And then we accidentally, I mean, not accidentally, it was semi-accidentally, but, like, kind of on purpose. With our, so, like, so, like, the current pregnancy, this is our third girl. So with our two girls, they're, like, our two older girls, their names are extremely well matched. In the sense that they're not just like in one theme, but like they have several things in common. Because I mean they're both the same type of name. They're like, I would say, the same genre of name. They're similarly, you know, extremely unusual. They're both nouns. They're both nouns that are a specific real thing in the world, but also a color. And they both have their first initial and then the third letter of the name is the same. And that's where I think it went too far. Because if we have decided to replicate that, that is definitely hard to come up with something where I mean, there are plenty of names where the first initial and then the third letter are the same. There definitely, like, there are some, but, and some of them are nouns, some of them are colors.
Yep.
It's still, like, it tightens things up if we decided that we needed to, like, continue that.
But now that pattern has been established, how beholden do you feel?
I mean, I think that's a question that we've had to grapple with a lot.
Yeah.
I think it comes somewhat down to is continuing the pattern fun, or does continuing the pattern with too many people make the pattern feel a little too matchy?
Yeah.
Like, there's that children's book that's like Millie, Molly, Mandy or whatever.
No.
Okay, but there is a children's book called that. But my point is, like, Millie and Molly can be sisters, or Mandy and Molly or whatever, but like Millie, Molly, Mandy is a little bit much.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely don't want something where it feels like it's too much. Or something where it feels like the Duggars type of situation where it's like...
So I would not like our lives in any way to feel like the Duggars.
No, but including where you have this pattern you're following, so you have to pick a name that fits the pattern, even if this is not even a name you like or would have considered. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, I think for us, picking a name that we really felt strongly about is important.
Yeah.
I think for you, picking a name that will just really just make people just feel some kind of way is also, like, I think that's, like, your own personal pleasure.
Edward Munch's The Scream.
But the thing is, I think there's no way to know how people will feel, especially because I think people from, like, our parents' generation are so unpredictable as far as, like, what they like or don't like. You know what I mean? Because I feel like there have been times when I mentioned names to my mom, not like I mentioned names that we were thinking about using, but just, like, names in general that are, like, maybe contemporarily, like, popular.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, like, appalled by, like, very normal seeming names. Like, I remember one, like, this is one that sticks out to me. I feel like I said something about the name Stella, which is, like, currently, I feel like if you met a baby named Stella, you would not feel surprised.
Yeah, star, right?
Yeah, but also it's, like, it's in fashion.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem, like, too weird.
No.
But it also is, like, classic enough that I wouldn't think someone of our parents' generation would be weirded out by it. And I remember my mom was like, do not name someone that. It's like, I feel like she would say that about, like, a lot of names. You know what I mean? Like, things that seem to me to be just, like, so incredibly normal. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that our parents might be horrified by a lot of names that seem very normal compared to maybe the name that we've actually chosen.
Yeah.
So, at this point, though, they might just be bracing themselves, so whatever we pick, they'll be like, well, they've already thought of something.
I just want to say to whoever's listening that however horrified you end up being by the name, just know that you could have been way more horrified and we restrained ourselves.
I mean, there were some names that each of us liked that I think would have really just knocked people's socks off. There's a couple names that each of us, I think, vetoed of the other one that could have really made things exciting. Like,
yes.
I mean, what is a name that you really love?
I'm not playing that game.
You're not going to reveal any of the names that you considered.
No, because I don't want to narrow it down for people. I want them to be totally
You want
surprised.
them to live in total suspense.
Yes, don't you?
Yeah, but they'll never live in suspense. They don't have to know what almost happened.
But if you tell them what didn't happen, then they can cross that off the list.
True. But I feel like a lot of the things...
I just like the feeling of what could we do?
I feel like a lot of the things that didn't happen are so wild that they wouldn't have ever been on anyone's list.
Alright, well, do you have an example from your list?
No, I don't know. Now that you've, I don't know. Do we want to reveal our example?
No. Let's be totally surprising.
Yeah, no, I think that...
We could reveal the name on the Rob Burgess Show. That could be our reveal.
No, I feel like the reveal needs to be visual.
Yeah, because people need to
People need to know how to spell things and also see them in writing.
Yes.
Because I feel like if you just hear something, you can just, be like, what? Or say again, or was it this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want to be like, this is what it is. Not there's no wiggle room to be like, I thought you said it was such and such. You know what I thought was very charming?
What?
How generous some of our children are with their names.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, our 6-year-old has suggested some names that sound very similar to her own name.
Yes. But at least she's not possessive.
But that's what I mean. She's very generous. Like, she suggested some names that are really just one letter off from, like, basically her name.
I think she would like to have some girls who have the same almost name as her. I think she would be not against that.
But it's funny because it was just funny to me and kind of touching because in my own, you know, searching for names, I would be like, oh, we can't pick that. It seems too similar to so-and-so's name, and they might feel like we're just taking their, you know what I mean? But apparently that's not really an issue for them because they're willing to give away, like, large chunks of their names to other people.
Yeah. But that's good.
It is. And I am amused by the names that our kids have suggested because I would say half the names they've suggested are, like, secretly names that we had actually considered. And the other half of the names that they've suggested are completely not names that we would ever, like, name somebody.
But it's funny because I feel like you've soured on some names that our children have pushed too hard for.
Only because...
You don't want to think they've won? Them to think they've won?
No. I mean, that sounds mean. I it's not that I don't want them to think that they've won. It's that because we have multiple... If we had one child...
Mm-hmm.
And they suggested a name, and it was the name that we were planning to use, I would be like, that's great. They're going to love that we picked the name that they wanted.
Yeah.
But since we do have, like, 4 older siblings here, I don't really want any of them to feel like they got to pick the name and the other people didn't.
No, that's
you know what I mean? That's the difference.
I don't mean that you think about it as a competition. I think they think about it as a competition.
I just don't want them to... I don't want... If we were to pick a name that one child had suggested and another child didn't like... I don't want the other child to be like, oh, I can't believe you picked so-and-so's... You know what I mean? And, like, that kind of makes them, like, upset.
Yeah.
Even if it was just a coincidence and we had independently liked the name beforehand.
Yeah.
It's something that I had thought about it. You know, it's complicated when you have that many kids.
Yeah, definitely.
And I kind of want them to be surprised, too. Like, I'd rather they all be surprised than just pick something that they've all already thought of.
Yeah.
See, I remember back in, like, the 90s when my younger sister was born, and I really, really wanted my parents to name her either Brittany or Megan. And, like, they didn't, obviously, but, like, and, like, I think that now that's for the best. She doesn't really seem like a Brittany or a Megan, so it's really fine. But those were very popular names at that time, and I think I just wanted her to have something that felt, like, very popular, like, of the times, you know what I mean? And I definitely feel like some of the names our kids have suggested are very much in that vein of, like, yes, I can see how you got here, but no, I'm not going with that.
Yes, well, there was a country song in the 90s called I Thank God for Unanswered Prayers.
Right?
Sometimes you gotta dodge a bullet there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had some questionable baby names in my past, I'm sure, that I wish that if I, actually had pulled the trigger on for some reason back then, like, or had, like, some influence over someone like that, would probably be a regret. But...
Yeah, or just, well, although didn't you tell me the other day that, because we were talking about this is, to reveal how bizarre we really are. We were talking about, like, if people, like, asexually reproduced. So, like, you were just kind of like, like polyp style, like a jellyfish, like, just kind of making your own children. Didn't you say that, like, you think all of your children would probably just be named Rob in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, why do you need to pick a new name? You've already got the thing, it's just more of the thing.
True, I mean, because if you are asexually reproducing, you're just cloning yourself. You're not, like,
combining with anyone.
With another 4. So, yes, I mean, I guess it would make sense if all of them were named Rob.
I mean, I think George Foreman got the closest to that of anyone, so...
Yeah, I mean, some people do take that a little far. I mean, I know that, like... So my mom has twin brothers, and I know that their dad had wanted to name them both. Like, I think the plan originally was that if there was a boy, it was just going to be, like, Junior or whatever. And so I think he wanted to name them both after him, and they had to, like the rest of the family had to, like, talk him down from the ledge. I think they both ended up with names that were, like, from their grandfathers. But I think they had to be like, look, we can't just name them both after you. Like, that's a no. And it would be unfair probably to have one Junior and one not Junior if you're dealing with twins. So we have to, like, check that out.
Maybe if it was a boy-girl twin.
Yes, if there was a boy twin and he was junior, and then the girl could just have some other name or be named
Because
after
it wouldn't
a
be
female
like a
family
possibility
member.
of the girl being the junior in that case.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's harsh if you're, like, picking one
No, it's
over
definitely
another.
like favoritism or whatever, jealousies.
You seem more like a Chad to us.
Exactly.
The rest of the family. But no, I'm excited to tell people what her name is.
I
finally.
think it's a great name.
I'm excited about it. I feel good. I mean, it's like we know what we want to call her, and I feel like that, like, even though picking the actual name was hard, I've had like a strong sense of what I wanted to call her, like, pretty much the whole time. But no, I mean, I think even though picking the name was hard, the actual full name, I've had a sense of what I wanted to call her the whole time, and I'm excited to call her that out loud.
Yes.
You know.
But not right now.
No, but not right now.
You could say it and I could like beep it out and then people would even be more upset.
No. I thought about, okay, so last time we were pregnant with our son, who's now 3, I did try to, like, engage some of my family in, like, a hinting thing where, like, I think we had several hints that we sent people, but people were terrible at actually, like, guessing.
Yeah, you gotta just spell it out for people when it's time to say what it is.
I have, like, a strong desire to, like, drop some hints, though. But I also know that I will be disappointed in people's inability to, like, put the hints together.
No. I would skip it.
Yeah.
Although I understand that it's tempting.
It's exciting when you've, like, picked something that you're excited about, you know? You want to, like, be like, this is the thing.
I know something you don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not like I want people to totally, like, easily guess, but it's like, it would be nice if people could, like, come close.
But not actually.
Like, just show that they know us well enough that they could somehow come real close to guessing what the thing is.
Yeah.
You know, but that's alright.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could guess what this is. Just cold.
No, I mean, it's not... I think it fits really well and it makes a lot of sense, but it's also not something that you would easily... Like, if you're asking ChatGPT what, based on, like, what else we've named our kids, what this one's going to be, I don't think it's going to be able to help you.
Oh, but don't do that.
Yeah, also don't do that. Don't
weird.
tell... I'd rather hide my children from ChatGPT for as long as possible. But you see what I mean. Like, it's like, it fits, but it's not like, oh, obviously, you should just do this name.
Totally.
I have heard of people naming their kids that way, like, being like, oh, well, what is a good sibling name for Annabelle and...
What? Type it into ChatGPT?
Yeah, just being like, what's a good sibling name for this and this, and then it's like, oh, here's some suggestions, and then just being like, oh, yeah, we'll go with that one. I mean, I guess if you just want to, like, do that, that's fine, but... You know.
Well, why would you take that process away from yourself? Isn't that part of the fun of having kids?
Yes.
You get to name them. I think it's fun.
It's pretty exciting.
It's a monumental decision
Oh, it's huge.
that they will carry with them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So,
I just love how, like, stunned people are when we show up somewhere, not only with our, like, million children, but then when they, like, figure out what their names are.
yeah, they're usually surprised and delighted.
Yeah.
They're at least surprised. I think they're mostly delighted.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially, like, I know you recently, like, you took the girls somewhere, and, like, I feel like you said, like, the librarian was like, oh my gosh, like...
Yeah. She was bowled over by the combination. But that's how you want people to feel, right?
Definitely. Whereas you just want people to be stunned.
Yes. Gobsmacked. Can't even believe it. Jaws on the floor.
Right. But let's see, I think we wanted to talk more about, like, what has been different about this pregnancy. being that it's the fifth one, and that we're, more than a decade older than we were originally. I don't feel like it's been vastly different as, like, from a physical standpoint. I mean, I think, the first trimester, I wondered if I was, like, a little bit sicker than I had been previously. And so, I mean, that could be due to age, maybe. Second trimester, I feel like, seemed about the same. And then third trimester, I don't think it's been hugely different. I have had, like, in every pregnancy, I feel like in the third trimester, I've had a few Charlie horses. And this time, I have had more. So, I don't know. That could have to do with age, or that could just be, like, randomly different this time.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say. But in general, I really don't think it's been, like, significantly different.
Yeah.
I think how I've been treated medically has been a little bit different.
Well, that's what I was going to get to next. Is that, like, I feel like you're definitely looked at a certain way. Yes,
well, with this pregnancy, I'm over the age threshold where I'm, like, it's, like, the advanced maternal age or whatever. So, well, like, for example, that was why we got to do we were talking about how we recently did the ultrasound.
Yeah.
I think we normally wouldn't have gotten that, like, this, like, late pregnancy other ultrasound, except that they've had me go to, like, the high risk, like, screening, like, ultrasound doctor or whatever, just because of, like, my age,
Yeah.
And I do feel like they're more on the lookout for and or possibly assuming that, like, problems will develop. Which I guess is good in the sense that, I mean, I know that, being older does make some problems more likely. And so, obviously, I want to make sure, I'm getting good care. It's a little bit annoying, though, because I feel like I kind of know my body as far as, like, being a pregnant person in a way where I'm not, like, I really don't think that I don't really feel like I said, I don't feel like significantly different this pregnancy than I have previously, and so I think it's probably fine. I also somewhat suspect that, like, the spacing between pregnancies does have an effect on how, your body handles being pregnant at different ages. Like, I would assume that my body views pregnancy differently than it would if it had never been pregnant before and was now suddenly pregnant. Or if I had, a more significant gap between pregnancies.
Totally.
But considering that, I mean, I've either been pregnant or breastfeeding or both for, like, the past, like, 12, 13 years, I feel like my body is maybe still very much in the, like, pregnancy and childbirth mode.
Yes, very, very true.
Whereas if I hadn't been pregnant or breastfeeding for, like, 7 years and then now was gearing up to do that again, I wonder if it would be more of, like, a surprise for me physically.
Definitely. I think it would.
Even though, on the other hand, I mean, I wonder if, I'm sure my, like, stores are depleted and I should probably, like, work harder to, like, replete my minerals or something from, the whole being pregnant and breastfeeding continually. But I do think there is something to be said for, like, your body kind of being in that zone,
Definitely. I think the more times your body does something, the better it seems to get at it in this realm, I feel like, in general.
Well, and also, yeah, but also I just mean in the sense of, like, hormonally, since I've been breastfeeding and or pregnant during this whole, extended period of time. I just feel like that means, like, my body's kind of hormonally in that zone versus, like, if I had not been pregnant or breastfeeding for, like, 7 years, I wonder if, like, my body would be, like, more, like, deeper into, like, perimenopause or something and, like, less likely to be, like, responding well to, like...
That's a good point. I mean, I think somebody that just started having kids at our age is probably more likely to have issues, I would think, than somebody that has, like you said, been continually in this realm for like a decade, you know?
Well, especially since I've been breastfeeding and things like that, I'm sure that like hormonally keeps my body in like a certain zone, which is different than if I wasn't doing that, you know?
Absolutely.
I'm sure that's different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also just like as far as like, you know, when you don't, you know, if you're pregnant or like when I'm breastfeeding, like it takes me a while to start ovulating again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a whole period of time where my body is like in that kind of zone, as opposed to if I'd just been kind of ovulating the whole time, maybe like using up my egg supply and all that too.
Totally.
So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say really how different this pregnancy is due to my age, but I don't feel like it's been like extremely different than any other pregnancy that I've had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's probably true.
Which is nice. I mean, I don't know what your observations are from like your perspective.
You just look very pregnant these days.
Yes, I'm really very pregnant these days. I do feel like I'm at that point where I'm just like so pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm so pregnant now. I actually like being at this point in a lot of ways because I feel like when you look sort of vaguely pregnant, it's not as fun. It's kind of fun being a pregnant person where it's like, obviously I am pregnant. Like,
yeah, right.
Like it's not, like it's really not something that someone could be like, she could be pregnant, we don't know. You know what I mean? Like I do enjoy being like obviously very pregnant.
Yeah, we've passed the threshold.
Sometimes it's a little bit tricky now because like sometimes I just feel like it's harder like to, like I don't bend very well, like as far as like if I'm trying to get something off the floor or like tie my shoes or something, it's starting to feel like a little bit difficult.
Yes. But it's funny because you've pointed out how she's like laying in you.
You mean like when my stomach will be like
Yeah.
asymmetrical because she'll like lean on one side and it's like sticking out one way?
Yeah.
I always think that's so wild.
Yeah.
You can like see like where she kind of is in there, you know?
Yeah. But she's like a whole person in there right now.
Yeah, I mean she's like the size. She's like the size of like a full-size pound puppy or something this weekend.
You have the most interesting tracking.
It's all like retro like things that you'd remember from like the 90s. Like I feel like a couple weeks ago she was a George Foreman grill.
Yeah. Well, she was a Tamagotchi early on, right?
Yeah, she was a Tamagotchi at one point. I think she was a hamburger phone. She was Cher's flip phone at one point. I was very excited about that.
That was exciting.
I like that though because I mean honestly those give me a more, I think those type of items are more standard than the fruits where it's like I think fruit wise she might be like a pineapple right now or something.
Yeah.
But like how big is a pineapple really? Pineapples come in different sizes.
And are we including the top?
You mean like all the leaves or is it just
on top too, or is it just the fruit area?
Well, that's another thing that's confusing about the way they measure baby sizes is that it's crown to rump.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not even really including her feet.
Yeah, I know. I keep having to like...
Feet are just kind of like folded up.
Recalculate whenever you say that. I'm like, but the feet stick out. I mean, maybe it's because the feet are like kind of like...
Yeah, I mean, I think her feet are probably like bunched up right now, except for when she's like kicking.
Mm-hmm.
So that does make a huge difference.
Yeah. But I'm excited to meet her on her due date if she's listening.
Are you just telling her not to like come flying out early because you're so excited? That
I think her due date would be a perfectly fine day to come
or the day after. I mean, she's
or the
due.
Day after.
Like she's due.
Sure.
It's fun. She's due like the weekend of like. There's a lot of cool dates around when she's due, as far as like solstices and Father's Day and Juneteenth and like things like that. That like there's a lot of like opportunities for her to have a cool birthday.
Totally.
Also, as I jokingly said to you. If she's born on Father's Day, then I don't have to get you a present. So, but no, I already got you something else, so don't worry. But
yes, you're giving me the ultimate present.
I'm just saying that would be a great Father's Day gift.
It is, absolutely.
I've been working on making it for like almost an entire year now. I've been constructing it very carefully, and
yeah, I helped.
I like it.
But you did most of it.
I still think that would be a nice Father's Day present.
Yes.
Not that she has to be one on that day. I'm just pointing out that would be a bonus.
That would be a good one.
But no, there's a lot of good dates available around the time that she's due. So
Totally.
I'm excited to see which one she picks.
Yes.
But no, I'm very eager to meet her in a way where I don't need her to like come flying out early, because she'll be more comfortable if she waits until we finish with like these last kind of preparations, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she can definitely like just
100%.
hang out for a couple more weeks. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, I'm not one of those people. Like, I think there are definitely people that like are so done with pregnancy and want to be like done, you know. And I kind of love being pregnant. I mean, there's definitely like hardships about it, but in the balance of things, it's such a novel and interesting state that I'm not like in a huge rush to be past it.
Yeah. But I've been trying to remember to take more pictures of you lately.
Yeah, we haven't really taken many like great pictures of me in like a cute pregnancy outfit or anything. We should probably like try to do that.
Yeah, maybe this weekend we should prioritize that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really own any cute pregnancy outfits, but like I can try to put something together.
Hey, you wore the Bush t-shirt I got you?
This is true. Well, it's just that I've never wanted to spend very much money on maternity clothes.
Yeah.
Like there's things that I love buying, like books. Like, if I had an unlimited budget, I would always be able to find more books to buy and buy them excitedly.
Yes.
And there's things that I enjoy buying, even though I'm not like unlimitedly like budgeting for them. But like I do like buying like baby equipment and stuff, like we talked about. Like the stroller was like pretty exciting. But maternity clothes just seem like so fleeting. Like I'd rather invest in things that we're gonna use later. I think that's a trap that I do fall into sometimes, though, as like a parent in general. Is that like I prefer to get stuff for the kids than for myself.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I do get grouchy when I'm like, and then I realize that maybe I should buy more stuff for myself.
Yeah.
Well, just like things like, you know what I mean? Like I love buying like clothes for like the kids. But then sometimes it's like, man, maybe I should let myself buy that one shirt that I've been thinking about.
Sure. Definitely.
In my mind, though, I guess, like, buying stuff for the kids just seems so, like, justified.
Yeah.
And I get so much pleasure from seeing them have nice things. But then sometimes I'll realize that things that I have are, like, ridiculously falling apart, and it's like, I could have not bought them something that they didn't really need, and then maybe like gotten myself some more things. So I do have to remind myself to like balance it sometimes.
Yes, you are gonna need all new clothes after this.
Yes, I am upset because like, I mean, my last like ride or die pair of pants I think has like died.
Yeah.
So, but I'm holding out. Like that's a perfect example of like, I am going to buy I think some pants that I think will fit me to like leave the hospital in. But I refuse to buy any pants to wear for like the next 3 weeks.
No.
So I'm just going to continue wearing the pants that have died.
Yes, I noticed.
As long as I don't sit with my legs open, no one will know that the crotch is wet.
Keep them closed.
Exactly.
Everything.
Which I obviously didn't do, or I wouldn't be in this state. But sorry. There's like a part of my mind that makes like terrible jokes. I usually restrain myself, but
it's okay.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I would rather buy pants that I could wear for like 5 years after the birth than wearing pants than buying pants to wear for like 3 awkward weeks. So
yeah.
Just gonna keep patching along until then.
Definitely. You should make sure to wear that with your that one pink shirt.
Oh, you mean the shirt that has completely left? I'm only keeping that shirt now because I'm stunned by like how little of it is left. It's like not only is it riddled with holes like Swiss cheese, but also the fabric itself has like been so depleted that it's become transparent.
Yeah, I've got a couple t-shirts like that I probably need to say goodbye to eventually.
But at this point, it's like I've taken it past the point of, oh, you're just not in good shape, to the point where it's like, it's stunning that this shirt is even able to, like, sort of go on my body anymore. 'Cause it feels like it's about to rip away.
Yeah.
So at this point, I just want to see how long I can take it.
Sure. Definitely.
But, I don't know, was there any other pregnancy stuff you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm excited for people to hear her name eventually.
Eventually. We could just really torture people and not tell them for, like, 3 weeks after she's born.
Wow. People would riot.
People have done things like that before, though. Just been like, oh, we're still thinking about it. That would be so mean.
I kind of want to do it now that you said that.
No, we can't do that.
Wouldn't we have to put baby boy or something on the
or baby
certificate
girl,
or something, and then weirdly get it changed later or something?
I don't know how long you have after. So if you
can you leave the hospital without it?
I think you can, but I think there's a window of time. Like, I think there's a certain window of time to register the name, and after that, I think you might have to pay to get it changed. I'd rather just, like, whatever's included in the fees we're already paying, I'd rather just take advantage of. I don't want to have to pay to change it because we didn't tell them what it was. Still, we could fill out the birth certificate and just, I'm saying, not tell any of our friends and family. That would be so mean.
But I think if we've all already filled it out, we're not really, like, still thinking about it then, are we?
Yeah, but we could just not tell anyone. We could just be like, oh, we'll, you know.
I don't know.
We can't really do that.
No, it's alright. I'm excited for people to know anyways.
Me too, though, so I mean, that'll be good.
But we've been watching the new season of 90 Day Fiancé.
I feel like the casting for this season was kind of ratchet. I don't know.
Yeah, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Well, but like we were talking about the other day, the fact that this show has been going for so long and has become this sort of established universe with all these, like, spin-off shows and stuff does probably change who is even willing to be on the show.
Yeah.
You know, because the first couple seasons, I think probably some of those people were just legitimately people that were like, I'm trying to import someone, maybe somehow being on the show will help me to, like, raise the money to do it or whatever, you know, or, like, more just, like, pretty regular people.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think everyone who's on that show wants to be, like, a reality TV star.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that, like, brings out, like, less good individuals.
Yeah, and it's always, like, the foreign man is, like, a minor celebrity in his own country, and he's gonna,
or he
like,
claims to be,
or may not even actually be.
I think this guy is he from Egypt?
Yes.
Okay, the guy on this season that's supposedly a movie star.
Yes.
He's not. He won't tell her what movies he's been in, and, like, I feel like he either hasn't been in any movies, or maybe he's been in some, like, you know, adult entertainment or something. But, like, I don't think that he's been in any.
There's
like,
a reason he hasn't sent her his IMDb or
if you were in any legitimate films, you would just tell people that you were in the films, right?
You wouldn't be coy about that, I feel like. Most people are glad to tell what actual films they've been in, I'm sure. Exactly.
Like, even most people that, like, have been in, like, some very low budget, you know, maybe some local film productions, and they know that that's all it is, are usually still, like, pretty proud to tell people about the films they've been in. So the fact that this guy, like, claims to be, like, a huge star in Egypt, but it's, like, can't reveal what he's been in, is, like, no.
Also, he wants her to take pictures and video of him constantly, and it's, like, for his, like, social media or something.
And they've gotten in a huge fight because he wanted her to make a video of him driving the moving van, and she accidentally took a photo instead or something, and it's like, did you want a wife, or did you just want, like, a weird personal assistant to, like, film you?
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah. And you've got the people from Alabama and people from Kentucky and...
Well, which is the guy that the auctioneer guy?
The guy from Kentucky.
Okay. That guy, I mean, that relationship is already falling apart, though, because was it the last episode we were watching, is that where, like, she was like asking if he's been cheating on her because the other person came storming over to be like, he's been cheating on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, it wasn't the person he was cheating with, it was like one of his ex-wives or something.
Yes.
Who maybe he's also been cheating with. But anyway,
very sort of fair.
his explanation was like, different people have different definitions of cheating, and then he describes this incredibly detailed, very specific scenario where at a party at the lake, and you've been drinking, and then the woman asked you to dance, and then you end up making out on the dance floor, and would you consider that cheating or just some fun at the lake? And it's like, when you describe it that way, first of all, we know that this has definitely happened, but also, like, do you really think that this woman is going to be okay with this?
Yeah. It was an interesting reveal for that information that I'm not sure how he thought that was going to play out, but
I feel like maybe it's good that he was just honest, but I do feel like he could have rolled that out better.
Yeah, I don't know. She didn't seem to be very happy with him, so
no.
And then who else we got?
We've got the
woman that keeps like making out with people and like
and the guy keeps
England,
being like, I feel like
please,
you'd stop.
It'd be nice if you stopped kissing everyone. And
yeah, those people I think just need to break up.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't think they have any chemistry.
No.
Well, isn't their big issue that like he doesn't want to like do things with her?
Yeah.
And so that's her excuse for like making out with other people. But he's like, maybe I would want to do more stuff.
Well, no, her excuse for making out with other people is her ADD.
Or no, she says she has obsessive compulsive disorder.
OCD.
And she obsessively thinks about making out with people and then has to do it, which I am not an expert on this, but I don't think that's quite how it works. Like, my understanding of intrusive thoughts is more that, like, you think of something and then you're afraid you're going to do it, not that you then, like, have to do it. But she's, like, makes it sound like she thinks about doing these things and then she, like, has to do them.
I do think she has OCD, and I think she just is somebody that gets drunk and makes out with people.
Both of those things could be true.
And I don't think one is the cause of the other, necessarily. But
I mean, they could be linked, but, like, also, it's not an excuse. I think there's a lot of people with OCD that aren't.
That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's in the DSM.
Also, she clearly has a drinking problem, though.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too, and that's what she keeps coming back to is like, she's like every time I drink. Well, okay, maybe if you can't drink, maybe you shouldn't drink. Like maybe if you know that about yourself,
know that you're going to get blackout drunk and make out with people. Maybe you should be like, hey, I think I'll stop. Yeah.
You have that much agency over your life.
But the guy from England is also like
just a giant weenus.
Well, he's going along with, I mean, okay, why did he move here to be with her? Like, he already knew prior to, like, getting on the plane to, like, move here.
Well, the same thing with the people in Alabama, like, when he's, like, holding up the pink thing, and she's like, I don't want kids, and it's like, I haven't told him, but I've reported this guy. Yeah,
it's like, you already knew these things that are, like, probably a relationship deal breaker, but...
Like, she's been making out with people for a long time.
Yeah, and he's like, I wish that you would stop, but it's like, he still moved here to be with her. Mm-hmm. I feel like he could have at least been like, I'm not going to move to the States to, like, be with you unless you agree to, like, if it's important to him that she not make out with other people. That he be like, look, I'm not moving here unless you agree to stop making out with other people. Mm-hmm. But he didn't do that, so that definitely doesn't make it seem like he really needs... He just kind of wishes she would stop, but he's definitely not, like, putting his foot down.
No. Yeah, there's a real Jerry Springer vibe to this season.
Yeah, well, and I mean, but the same thing with her drinking, where it's like, he's like, every time we go out, you get blackout drunk. But it's like, that would be an issue where you could be like, look, every time we go out, you black out, so I think maybe you should, like, stop. Mm-hmm. Are you open to stopping?
Yeah, right.
But he's not doing that. He's just being like, oh, I wish that you wouldn't keep doing this.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, but you're right, and you brought up the people where the woman hasn't revealed to the guy yet that she doesn't want kids. And it's like, this man has, like, bought...
Pre-purchased.
He's, like, purchased, like, tiny pink sweaters and stuff for the child that he thinks that you want to have with him. I think it's hurtful that you haven't mentioned to him yet that you're maybe not into that.
Yeah, it's like, you shouldn't have brought this man to Alabama.
Yeah, because, like, this man is not going to thrive in Alabama, so...
He looked like he was very sad to leave Turkey.
As he should be.
As he should be.
Because I feel like his life in Alabama is looking kind of bleak.
Yeah, like a childless future in the Deep South where, at least for the time being, he can't work.
Yeah, like, it's just... He deserves to have all the information. But I do think part of how you get cast on the show is be like, there's this really hard detail that I haven't revealed that could definitely make the person break up with me that I will reveal on air instead of like in advance, like appropriately in advance.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
totally.
I definitely think that's like a part of it. Oh, and then there's the bridal shop woman.
Yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah,
she seemed like the most normal and fine one until she didn't.
I don't even know if we can talk about what she said. Can
we not?
No, we can talk about it.
I mean, so this woman, I think, is already like a very like low key reality show star because she has some kind of a management role at like the bridal shop that's on that Say Yes to the Dress show.
Is it Kleinfeld's? Yeah.
So she's like, you know, she has some kind of like a pretty good job working for them, and I assume she has like appeared on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
But now she is finally like she's been married before and divorced, and she has like 2 like medium-aged sons, and now she's like importing someone from is it from the Dominican Republic, I think.
Yes.
And prior to moving here to live with her, he's undergone what I would consider to be a fairly extreme body modification.
Yeah. Adult circumcision.
Yes, which also went wrong. And so he had some complications that sounded as excruciating as you would imagine. That he's had to like heal from when things went as terribly as you would hope they wouldn't go.
But she is not Jewish, to my knowledge.
I mean, yeah, like she hasn't. Well, when they brought it up, they were very vague about what, like, they didn't say like, oh, he's converting and so he's doing this or anything like. You know, they were just kind of like, oh, he decided to do this, and I'm excited that he's decided to do this. Like, it just more seemed like
Maybe
it was
she is
more
Jewish,
to her.
I don't know.
But even
why else would you have somebody do that?
But even if she is Jewish, it would only make sense if he is converting. If he was
converting to marry her.
But they have absolutely not said a word about him converting.
But they didn't offer any other explanation for why he did this.
Well, they did. Right? Their explanation was just that she preferred the look.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, all they basically said was, like, she was a little weirded out by it in the state that she found it in. And was excited that he has chosen to make it be different.
Okay, well, maybe, I mean...
I guess to me it would feel...
I'm just trying to understand why somebody would do that.
To me it would feel more called for if he was converting.
Yes.
I don't think he's converting mainly because I think that if he was converting that would be more of a plot point of the show. Like, rather than just being like he's doing this thing for aesthetic reasons, they would be like showing him maybe meeting with a rabbi or like doing some other conversion related things.
Mm-hmm.
And there would definitely be an audience for that. It's not like people wouldn't be interested.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we've seen this show before where they were covering people that were converting or that were like part of like a very specific religion. Like, we've seen some different, like, I don't think that she was converting, but she was becoming more intense about her faith. You remember there was like a few seasons back, there was that Muslim woman. And she was marrying that guy who's like super into his religion also, and like
Yes.
there was a lot of content about them like talking about how they practice their religion.
Yeah.
I think if this guy was converting, there would be content about it.
That definitely would be true.
Especially because well, like there's popular shows, like think about that one show we watched with Seth Cohen, Adam Brody,
yes.
and Kristen Bell. Nobody wants
this. Yes.
Like that's a topic that people are into, like the you know, someone's converting and like what they're going through, their journey to like our you know, all of that. Like I think that's something people want to see. So there's no way that he would be converting and they'd just be like, we're not going to speak about it. We're just going to mention randomly that he's
so
done
the
this
concerns
thing.
were not religious.
Yeah.
Which I just aesthetically, it just doesn't seem like enough reason to do it for me. But
It's a lot,
as
I
an
think,
adult.
I'm picturing, you know, an adult man deciding to do that. That seems like a lot. But I mean, there are women that decide to have surgeries, you know, for aesthetic reasons on their genitals too, and I also can't understand that.
No, I also don't understand.
Like we did have Jasmine from a few seasons back who had that surgery, and hers also kind of went wrong, didn't it?
It did.
Which it's
hard.
not a
It's
great advertisement for having genital surgery when all these people seem to be having like terrible complications.
It's probably a hard surgery to get right.
Well, it's very
sensitive.
You're dealing with a real special area, and
A lot of delicate parts put together.
I just personally can't see wanting to have a surgery
Electively.
Yes, like I think reconstructively, like if there's been, you know, an injury or something has gone terribly wrong, sure. But if things are fine, it's very hard for me to imagine wanting to mess with that region.
Yeah. Sorry, I look how I look at this point. Not doing anything unnecessarily.
Even just like a nice piercing so you can wear your pants, like a nice Prince Albert, just to give your trousers a real tasteful line.
I would definitely wear tighter pants if I had that going on.
But would you wear the tighter pants because you would want people to know that you've gotten the Prince Albert, or like...
Why would you wear a piece of jewelry if you didn't want anybody to ever see it?
But I think the point is that the jewelry keeps everything aligned inside the pants or whatever.
Do you hook it to the pants?
That part I think there's like, yes, I think you're like...
No.
Maybe not to your pants, I think maybe you like tie it around your leg or something.
No.
Just so that it's not like flapping around, you know what I mean? So it's like keeping your...
I certainly don't know what you mean.
I don't know. I mean, okay, so like, I was reading somewhat recently that...
I don't see an upside here.
Everyone says the Prince Albert is like, because like it was invented by Queen Victoria or whatever, but like, I think that's not even true. I think it was actually like, supposedly it was like somewhat fashionable at the time, like a lot of guys were getting the piercing.
Yeah, there's no way that she invented that.
No, it was just like a thing to be like, make your pants look good by like making sure that all your pieces are going in the right areas. I mean, I think
But they wore like tights back then, didn't they?
No, they were just like very fitted trousers. So I mean, the idea is just you want to make sure that the fitted trouser is fitted in the fitted way that you want it to be.
If you can see like the outline, I guess.
I think the idea
Like
though
the male
was
camel
maybe...
toe or whatever.
Yes, I mean, I don't know, like... It was a different time in fashion.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
No, it is interesting if you think about it, like, the way that clothing fashions have gone as far as, like, what people want to be, like, seeing or not seeing, and what people think is, like, appropriate for, like, a man or not.
Yeah. Like what?
Well, I mean, like, the very tight pants.
True.
I mean, I know you like pants that are not too baggy, but you've also disliked some pants that I bought you that you said were, like, too tight.
Yes.
So you have a very specific region of, like, not too tight, but, like, not too loose. Yeah.
Yeah. Not like I'm in the 90s again, but not also like I'm in an emo band or something. I don't know.
But see, I think that's more the direction I was trying to push you in, and you were like, no.
Too tight, too constricting. I need more room.
That's fair. See, I feel like tighter pants are actually more freeing, though. Because then you don't have to worry about like fabric like flapping around.
I don't want you flapping. Just yeah.
Well, I guess for me, like, I used to be so into like the flared jeans.
Yeah.
And I wasted years of my life with like pants that were too long, and then like it's like
they would get wet.
And the cuff gets wet.
Yes.
And then they're just like walking along with the wet flapping cuff.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, skinny jeans. But then it's like, once I actually converted to skinny jeans, it's like, wait, they hug my ankle, and so then they're not actually like hanging down too low and getting wet. This is actually glorious.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm sad that apparently skinny jeans are like out of fashion again.
Oh well. This is how I look.
But no, I think for women now it's like the more like the boxier, like wider leg, like paper bag cut or something is like come back in.
We don't have to go back.
I refuse to go back. See, if I just keep wearing skinny jeans for another 10 years, they'll come back around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. By the time our kids are like young adults, it'll be back.
We'll be like
right on time.
So fashionable.
Right on time.
Exactly.
Have you ever seen that one webpage, Dads Are the Original Hipsters?
Yeah, it's so true though. But that's why I'm just not going to get rid of any of my really great pieces, and then eventually I'll be like,
oh yeah,
this is totally happening again.
Speaking of another time, you finished and I'm still reading the book Yesteryear.
Yes, which, have you been staying away from spoilers?
Yes.
I'm going to try not to spoil anything for you either. Like, tell us how far you are in the book.
Alright, so I don't know how much people know about this, but this is a very hot book right now that Ash just finished reading, and I am about 200 out of like 380 pages, so like probably like 2/3 of the way through.
And I think that the book was so popular because, well, first of all, I guess like, is it Anne Hathaway that like immediately, like I think before the book was even published, or maybe even completed, she bought it and is like making it into a movie starring herself.
Yes.
Which I do, even though I hated this book, I do actually think that she will be really good in it, and I'll totally see the movie. So I get it.
Which, okay, so I'm like I said, I'm like 200 pages in. Did you hate the book at this point?
Probably not as much as I hated it later. But, well, I mean, to go back to like foundational information, so we have talked about Ballerina Farm previously on this podcast.
Yes.
And this book is clearly like inspired by / ripped from the headlines. Like, someone took the basic idea of Ballerina Farm as their character and then just decided to kind of build out a story around it.
Yeah.
Like, you can easily imagine this is just about Ballerina Farm. Like, the changes to, like, the basic who the woman is and, like, the basic foundational story, at least at the entry point, are pretty minimal.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think that's both, it's enticing and it's also a little bit lazy. I mean, I think if you do it well, doing a inspired by the headlines, inspired by a real famous, topical news story can be great. Because it can be like, hey, this is like a thought experiment. Let's imagine what it's like to be someone like this person. And how did they get to be who they are? And that was what drew me to the book. Because I always like to think about, like, what is it like to be someone like this person? How did they get to be how they are? That's, to me, the most interesting part of the story is the part where it talks about her backstory, like how she became the, like, trad wife influencer. Mm-hmm. But, going back to what you were saying.
So, this is like like we just said, social media star who is their big thing is like living traditionally, and now they've been transported into the 1850s or whatever in Idaho, but it's like
that's kind of the premise, is that like somehow she suddenly wakes up and she's like in the more real version of the life she was pretending to have, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And she's not doing great.
I have a feeling there's like some revealing information coming that you think maybe might change how I perceive things.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, like, to me, there wasn't so much a dramatic reveal as, like, you just kind of slowly figure out what's going on and are just kind of like, But potentially there could be a dramatic reveal, I guess, depending on how surprised you are.
I'm usually surprised by these things, so...
I mean, at this point, do you feel like you might know what's happening?
Sort of, maybe. I don't know, I have thoughts and suspicions.
But that's why I think it's not going to be necessarily like a shock. It's just kind of more like, okay, we slowly kind of patch this together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like, okay, so the premise of this book was so exciting to me. And the way that the author chose to play out the story was just not what I would have wanted to see. Because, I mean, like I said, the premise of just, like, who is this woman? How did she become who she is? That's exciting to me by itself, even without the other part. But I was still also theoretically interested in the other part of now she's actually thrust into this real version of the life she was pretending at, and it's so much less fun than she thought it would be or whatever, you know. That's kind of the premise that the book sells you, right?
Yes.
I just felt like that could have been good too, but I did not feel like that part of the story was well done. And that's kind of what killed it for me.
But you would still see the movie.
Definitely. But, like, okay, do you not think that the part of the book, because it's flashing back and forth between, you know, she's a successful influencer timeline and she's now somehow in this alternate
we see her
timeline.
Rise to
yes
her previous status
but
these flashbacks.
But do you not think that the part that's supposed to be happening in the past is, like, not as well done?
Yeah, but I'm waiting to see where it goes.
But just in general...
No, the way more entertaining part is the flashbacks.
Yes. But also just, like... I have credibility issues as far as, like, okay, so... I think it would have been more interesting if when she finds herself in this past where she has to actually do all the things and it's, like, harder and grosser than she, like, thought it would be or whatever. I think it would be more interesting if she'd kind of, like, slipped into that life and was doing, like... Maybe she's realizing internally that this is hard and terrible, but if she was still, like, making more of an effort to just, like, do it, I feel like when she slips into the universe, she's already, like, she's doing so badly that none of the people around her seem to have any faith in her ability to do anything.
Yeah.
And so, as a consequence, we don't get a real taste for what it would be like to actually live that lifestyle, because, like, they've all kind of already decided that she's, I don't know if they think she's, like, insane or, like, what. But, like, she's not really having to do all the things that she would actually have to do. Because they've already kind of, like, counted her out, and, like, other people in the family seem to be kind of filling in for her. Yes. You know what I mean? And I think that makes it less interesting than if it was more like she was kind of like, oh no, how did I get here? But, like, still trying to go along with things, and, like, all the other people were expecting her to do all the things. I think that would give us, as the audience, more of a taste of what it would be like to suddenly have to do all the things if our character was actually doing the things instead of just kind of weirdly floating along and, like, barely doing the things.
Yeah. Definitely.
So that's a big problem that I have with the book at this point.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep reading it because I think we are blocked at the library until I return.
Oh no, read faster.
I will. I'll get through it this weekend.
Yeah, no, I first heard about that book. I knew that book was going to be huge when I first heard about it because it was one of the Book of the Month picks. And then you, like, mentioned it to me, like, 3 days later after I had seen it as a Book of the Month pick, and I was like, oh man. I always know when you mention a book to me that I saw somewhere else.
Then you know it's like broken containment.
Well, because normally it's like, I feel like we hear about different things in this, like,
Sure.
you know, in the different places that we usually look at stuff.
Yes.
So if we've both heard about it at the same time
That
separately,
has penetrated
it's like, okay,
multiple platforms.
further.
Definitely. But speaking of ballerina farms, we were talking about...
Pasteurization and all the recent poisons. Well, when we talked about Ballerina Farm before, did we talk about the issue? We talked about the issue she was having with her raw milk.
We did.
Because she had to halt sale due to, like... I don't know if anyone was actually poisoned or if it was more just the testing came back bad.
Yeah.
But then recently you sent me a thing about a bunch of people being taken down by some
In
poison.
Idaho, which is
Yeah.
where this book we're talking about also takes place. Which is Ballerina Farm in Ohio or Idaho or Utah or...
I don't remember where she's located.
Some
in
western
Montana.
state.
It's somewhere where you can buy a ranch
Yeah, absolutely.
and just be ranching.
Yes.
But so we were talking about, you know, pasteurization, raw milk, and
Yeah.
various issues. And the thing is, I feel like the biggest danger zone when it comes to raw milk is probably when you have large-scale raw milk operations. Because, I mean, I don't know how many parts per million of, like, the poop or whatever has to get into the milk before everyone's poisoned. But I feel like when you have a larger scale milk operation, you're taking a bunch of milk.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if just some of it is contaminated, when you put it all together in the big storage tank or whatever, now it's maybe all contaminated.
Yes.
So that seems like it's just like you're just kind of asking for danger. I feel like if you're just milking your own goat, I'm not saying it's not a risk, but I definitely think like you know how clean you're being.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could probably like decide whether that's like a risk you want to take, and I think your chances are better.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if, you know, even if you're getting milk from like a small farm that you are somewhat intimately connected with, you can observe their cleanliness practices, but also they're more motivated. If they only have like 3 people that are buying milk from them, they're pretty motivated, and they're probably drinking the milk themselves. They're pretty motivated not to poison you.
Mm-hmm.
It's different when it's like just a big vat of milk that could just be so contaminated by like one bad batch, you know?
Yeah.
Not that I say that, like, it kind of sounds like I'm saying, oh, raw milk, it's fine. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I do think that, like, the danger grows up the more you try to, like, get involved in these, like, large-scale, like, raw milking situations.
But you have, when you were growing up, drank raw milk, right?
Yes, I mean, we drank raw milk all through my childhood, and, like, we were okay, which definitely doesn't mean that we weren't just lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I think luck definitely is real. We were lucky, and also, I mean, I think we, you know, the people that were doing the milking were being clean about it. I mean, we had goats for a while, and we milked them and drank their milk.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, for a while, had some sort of an arrangement with somebody that my parents knew that had goats that they were getting milk from.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't, like, it's not the choice that I would make for our family.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, to me, like, when I've looked at, like, what are the potential rewards of drinking raw milk, to me, any potential nutritional benefits seem pretty minor.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the risks, if something does go wrong, can be, like, really serious.
Definitely.
Especially for, like, a small child or someone who's, like, compromised in some ways. Like, that could kill somebody.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just not worth it. Like, I wouldn't do that.
No.
But I will say that the milk I drank as a child was very delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this issue?
I've never had raw milk. I'd be interested to try it.
I mean, I don't know that the taste is necessarily different so much as, like, what I had was different because, I mean, it was raw, but it was also, like, you know, there was a lot of cream on top and, like, you know, there's a lot going into it. And these were, like, you know, goats that lived like a pretty pampered life as far as like if you're one of like 3 goats and you get to like spend your days in like a nice grass meadow, I'm sure your milk probably does taste a little better.
Totally. Could use a couple goats in our backyard right now.
I mean, honestly, like, if somehow, like, situationally we needed to start homesteading, I would be mildly excited to get goats.
Yeah.
Not, like, a lot of goats, but, like, I could have, like, a couple of small goats.
Mm-hmm.
It would feel sort of exciting to be able to just milk something and have our own milk.
Would.
And I do, like, even though, like, some barns smell bad, I actually think a goat barn with only, like, 1 goat in it, actually, I kind of like the smell.
Mm-hmm.
I think just, like, that sort of, like, alfalfa smell.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, that's really just the girl goats. Guy goats are very smelly. Well,
Would you only have girls?
I mean, if you want to keep things going, you do need a guy sometimes, but, like... No, the guys will do this thing where they pee all over themselves, and it smells so bad. I think they only do that when they're trying to, like, attract a mate or something. It's like a whole thing. I don't know. But...
Yeah.
But no, if we, like, somehow had our own, like, slip into yesteryear and had to, like, start having a goat, I would definitely take a goat over a cow. Cows are so big.
Yeah.
I would be scared to work with a cow.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like a goat I could at least, like, handle, you know.
You wouldn't have to worry about getting trampled on.
Yeah, and baby goats are very cute.
That's true. But I don't know. I think in general, like, we should not be, like, having wide acceptance in society of raw milk, probably just for general safety purposes.
I mean, because it's generally not safe.
But this is another case where, you know, and I don't want to open up a can of worms here, but, like, there's so many decisions that we've made that I think are right for us that I just do not. I absolutely, like, the one way I part ways with some people on these things is, like, I don't think that everyone should do what we do.
Yes, I think that's true a lot, but I also think that it's part
and I don't
of the
need
reason
anyone else
why...
to do what we do.
No, well, and I think that I mean, we were talking about this a lot when it comes to homeschooling.
Well,
recently,
sure,
too,
absolutely.
where it's like, because we definitely encounter people that I feel like have, you know, thoughts and feelings about homeschooling.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think the majority of people who don't homeschool have, like, somewhat negative thoughts about it.
They definitely have a caricature in their mind of who they think is a homeschooling.
People make certain assumptions
Yes.
about us when they find out that we homeschool, but also I think that people see our choice to homeschool and they assume that means that we have certain judgments about their choice to not homeschool, and that's usually not the case. Like, I think that most people should not homeschool.
I agree.
I also think that I very much support the public school system. I think that the public school system should exist. I think, if anything, it should be better funded and more supported.
Yes.
Not only because I would like to have that option for our own kids if we for some reason needed to utilize it, but also because I think for the majority of people, having some kind of a public free education is in the best interest of our society.
Absolutely. 100%.
But I definitely think that people assume that if you're homeschooling that you're, like, not in support of the schools.
So not true.
Or that you think that they should be homeschooling, or that... And it's just like, no, I think most of you shouldn't be.
I mean, maybe it's wrong, but we do get some benefits by the fact that other homeschooling parents do feel like everyone should be homeschooling, because we do, especially in the state we live in, enjoy certain privileges in terms of homeschooling that we would not otherwise enjoy, other than the fact that there are some people that are... Well, I mean...
Do you mean the lack of oversight?
Yes, 100%.
But that's another thing, though, where I love the lack of oversight for us.
No, we're personally benefiting from it, and it's
I
great.
think it's bad maybe for
it's
some
bad for
people.
society,
Like,
I think, as in general.
I think personally I thrive under a lack of oversight, and I know
Yes.
that I'm doing above and beyond what anyone that was overseeing me would
Yes.
require of me.
Other
I
people
think
are
that
not
there are
doing
people
that.
that are educationally neglecting their children.
100%.
And that maybe they could benefit from some oversight to
Yes.
be stopped.
I mean, I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I do think that it's true. Like, we definitely do it, like you said, over and above and beyond, like, what's required naturally.
But a lot of that has to do with, like, our reasons for homeschooling and our educational philosophies and our general valuing of, like, intellect. I think that's another way that I think that we part ways both with many people who are in the public school system or any other school system, not just public school, many people who are in various schools away from their home, and also many homeschoolers.
Yeah.
In that, I think one of our primary motivating factors for, like, educating our children, however we choose to educate them, is, like, because we believe that education is inherently valuable. As, like, you know, who they become as people, like, you know, just, like, as far as, like, edifying them and making them into better, more interesting people. I think the majority of people think of education as a means to an end. As far as, like, going to college, getting a job. I think that that's one important component, but by far not the most important one.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I want all of our kids to go to college. Which is another way that we part ways with a lot of other homeschoolers. There's a lot of homeschoolers who are not necessarily wanting their kids to go to college. I hope all our kids will go to college. It's at least important to me that they have the option, springboarding from the education we've given them, that the door is open.
Yes.
I would actually hope they jump through that door. I think there's a lot of homeschoolers that aren't that into the idea of their kids going to college. Or are just kind of like, oh, we'll keep the door open, but it's not, like, super important to them. I think college is pretty important.
I do too.
I also, though, think it's important for different reasons than probably most people do. Because I was just saying, like, I think for me it's more education for education's sake. It's, like, mental development and opportunities and expansion. Not so much just, like, needing to, like, get degree to get job or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
You know? But I think that puts us at odds with a lot of people, like, that are in, you know, other schooling situations as well. So, like, I think a lot of people see public school as, like, this is how I'll help my kid become a contributing member of society or whatever. I don't really, I mean, depending on how you define contributing member of society, I don't even know if I care whether our kids become contributing members of society. I mean, by my definition, yes, I would like them to be contributing members of society. By the definition that I think a lot of the people that say things like that hold, no.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it just puts us, we're like the outliers of the outliers in a lot of ways. And I mean, it's kind of lonely because I feel like there's a lot of people that we have a lot in common with. And also there's a lot of very, very significant things about who we are that put us outside of those people that we have a lot in common with as well, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Which I think is fine to a certain extent because you don't have to have everything in common with the people that you're with.
No.
But it can be more challenging, like, when it comes to trying to find, like, for example, a community with other homeschoolers.
Yeah, tell me about it. Very difficult.
Especially, I think, in this area.
Yeah.
Just, like, where we happen to be located, I feel like. It's you know, it's a little bit rough. But I do love homeschooling, like, more even, I think, than I thought that I would.
I think all the children are benefiting from it.
I think so, too. And I mean, I think it's great in the sense that, like, every child has their own different needs and that can be met in different ways. You know?
Totally.
I've made so many exciting plans for the next school year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm slightly worried about how I'm going to implement some of the plans, with a baby, but I've homeschooled with a baby several times before and it was fine. And yet every time it seems like, you can't, the thing is you just don't know. You don't know who that baby's going to be and what that's going to be like. And our needs are different now than they ever were previously. So even though I've done this before, I also haven't. Like, I've homeschooled a smaller group of lower elementary school children with a baby before. This will be the first time I'm doing, some, older, upper elementary age children, as well as young children, and with a baby. So I have, more people, and also we're getting into some, different grades that we've never done before.
Yeah.
So that does make it a different situation than it's been.
Totally.
And there's so much that I want to do coming up that just, I've made a lot of plans, and then I've scaled the plans to try to be, realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely the person that, wants to do all the things and has to, discipline myself into being okay, but what are we actually doing?
Mm-hmm.
It's because there's a part of me that's but why can't we take on a third language? And then it's you know what? No. Tap the brakes.
But they would probably gladly do it, too.
They would. But that's why I'm saying, I have to, tell myself, sometimes I have to coach myself to lean more towards doing less things better versus my desire to just do more things and then get to the point where I'm we're doing too many things and some of them aren't happening as well as they need to be. That's that's a danger that I know of myself that I have to watch out for.
Yeah.
But I think that's another, that kind of going back to what we were just talking about as far as homeschooling for different reasons than other people are, or educating for different reasons. It's kind of how people are generally so appalled that we're studying French. Because most people think means to an end. You should pick what is the most practical modern foreign language that your children could study.
Spanish.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think Spanish is wonderful if that's what you feel compelled to do. But I'm not homeschooling for purely practical reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't pick the language just, out of practicality. I just I'm more interested in educational inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also doing Latin, which, people either think is great or it's why would you study a dead language? But it's not dead. It's I'm an English language arts nerd, so it's very alive within the language,
Totally.
But I'm just saying, so that's one of those areas. That's I think a perfect example of how a lot of people would make the most practical choice, whereas I'm more I guess more whimsical or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But he loves bonjour.
Yes. Well, that's the funny thing is that when you're homeschooling, but you have small children, they pick up on weird little things from homeschooling. So since we've been very lightly studying some French, our 3-year-old has become very attached to. So every once in a while, our library has this Muzzy program, which I feel Muzzy's been around forever because that Muzzy was around when I was.
I remember commercials for it when I was a kid. Yeah.
But since the library has it in their streaming service, sometimes I'll get an episode for the kids to watch. There's just a little side character that has a little vignette where it's basically a guy and he's in kind of a large clock. It's large. It's I don't know if it's a building. It's not maybe building enough to be a clock tower, but it's definitely bigger than a grandfather clock. and he's popping out, like the hands of the clock are going around, and every hour he pops out and says bonjour. Of course, and then when it switches over, he goes to like, bonsoir, and then finally bon nuit. But I don't know, something about that character, just our 3-year-old just loves him so much. Like, he just thinks it's hilarious when he pops out of the clock and says bonjour. Like,
yes.
Like, he talks about it, like, very frequently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, frequently enough that you know about him liking it, even though you've never, like, seen the original programming.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
But I think when he was just laughing and saying that he pops out of the clock and says bonjour, you were like,
yes.
Okay, something's happening here.
Yes. Definitely.
But it is fun to see, like, the little things that, the younger kids pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else that we wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm just excited for what we have coming.
Yeah. And did you say that this is your 300th episode?
Yes, 300.
I mean, that's pretty exciting. That's a lot of episodes.
But I thought we should probably get this one out sooner rather than later.
Are we going to, like, update after she's born?
Oh, yeah.
And be like, the birthing has occurred.
Yes, we have to.
Yes. Well, it's
then
always...
Maybe by then we'll have a name reveal, too.
Yeah, I'm sure at the point when we do another episode, we'll be like, all right, this is who
I know we're going to reveal somehow else also, but it'd be good to talk about it once we can.
We do need to figure out some sort of, like, photo props or something for, like, her, like, first pictures. I've been trying to decide, though, do we want to, like, be those people that, like, never post a photo of her, like, on the internet? It might be hard to get away with, though, because I feel like, weirdly, like, I don't know, like, our relatives or somebody will, like, post something, but...
Yeah, it would be hard to keep it off. I mean, I've
admire... posted less and less.
Yeah, I know. Me too. But I know that some people, just never, ever do.
I have put less and less photos of any of our kids on the internet.
Yeah.
And, like, less and less pictures of, like, their faces and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But I also feel, I go back and forth about it because on the one hand, it's like, I want to protect their identities by, like, putting less and less of their faces out there, especially with all, like, the weird AI and, like, stuff.
Yes.
At the same time, I feel like there is an edge to not putting them on the internet that's a little bit dark in the sense of, like, since the internet is real...
Mm-hmm.
And it is, like, a real thing that we, like, interface with. And, like, I do think that there is some truth to the idea that, like, if we tell parents that they now can't post their kids on the internet or whatever, it's like, how much of your life are you not allowed to share?
Yeah.
How much are you not allowed to have a real life? And especially when it comes to, like, mothers who are, like... How much are you not allowed to have a community?
Yeah, right.
So I do think about that, and that's why, like, I'm not, like, overly judgmental of people that post their kids more than I do. And I'm sure there's, like, lots of people that post their kids less than I do, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I still have following my feelings, I have put less and less of them and of their faces out there.
Yeah. It's sad it has to be like that, but I think that it is good to take precautions, though.
Yeah.
And not just, like, celebrities, either.
I've always been cautious, though, also in the sense of, like, I've always tried to err on the side of, like, I've never posted photos of them that I would think you would be embarrassed if this photo of you... You know what I mean? Like, I don't post pictures of them when they're in distress. I don't post pictures of them when they're messy. I don't post pictures of them when they're, like, indisposed or could easily be edited to look like they're indisposed. Or just something that would be, like, embarrassing. Like, oh, that's so cute when you're 3, but then, like, when you're 12, you're like, man, I wish this wasn't on the internet. Like, I've always tried to be sensitive to that.
Mm-hmm.
But even beyond that, I've just kind of felt myself being, like, more and more cautious about just, like, generally not wanting to, like, put more of them out there.
Totally.
But then I feel like there's always the possibility of, like, I feel like, you know, then the only photos of them on the internet will be, like, whatever unflattering photos that, like, anybody else randomly takes.
Tagged photos.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's not necessarily ideal either, in a way.
No. Well, that's the way that, like, you're supposed to combat, like, the bad, you know, search results, is just by putting a bunch of mundane things to flood out all the embarrassing stuff. So I guess you could flood the zone with that, but I mean, that's more a decision you can make when you're older if you want.
Yeah. Some of our kids are definitely old enough where they're, like, asking us when they can, like, have phones and stuff, and it's like never o'clock.
Never ever.
Never o'clock at the Oasis.
No.
No. But, like,
I'm against it.
No, I think just...
I mean, before they go to college, obviously, we're going to have to, like,
we need to,
them.
like, enough in advance of them going to college or going out on their own,
but just,
or whatever,
like, generally
to, like,
being a kid with the phone, no. I did see a kid at Starbucks who had that big chunky flip phone that Emerald keeps...
There was an episode of the Babysitters Club TV show where, like, one of the babysitters is punished by, like, having to get a flip phone.
She was like, Daddy, you're not going to get that phone for me.
Like, actually, that is the phone that Daddy has picked out for you.
I need to find out what model it is.
It's funny, because as she was describing it on the show, the babysitter was like, and it can only call my dad, and, like, and I can see you being like, that's right. That is the phone that you've already pre-picked out for them. But no, I'm totally on board with that. Like, I feel like sometime in the next few years we'll need to get a phone that they could take with them when they go places, as they, you know, doing, like, teenage things, but just a phone that's like, okay, so you're going on the camping trip with your friends, but here's the phone that you can use to call us if you need us to, like, come get you. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is not a phone for you to, like, talk to your friends or chat or, like, do anything on the internet or, like, you know. No. But I do feel like we probably will need to get something like that first.
Yes.
And then the next step obviously would be to teach them how to use a phone.
Yes.
Responsibly. So they're not like, woohoo, you know what I mean? You don't want the situation where someone moves to college and this is the first time that they've had a computer that accesses the internet and a phone and, like, and a TV, like, in their room. Because, I mean, that's just setting them up for disaster. We do need to, like, step them into it so that they know how to, like, set boundaries for themselves, hopefully.
Yeah. So
they're not, like, just, like, hog wild at the buffet, you know? Because that could also be, like, that can go wrong.
Yes, definitely.
But it's tricky to know when is the time. I mean, it's like with movies. Like, I keep telling our almost 12-year-old that, oh, that's a PG-13 movie, so let's wait till you're 13. And, like, I know that distresses him greatly.
Yeah.
Especially because we've made some exceptions. So that it's like, oh, why was this movie okay and that one wasn't? But it's like, if I've seen the movie, I know what is and isn't in the movie.
Yeah. It covers a wide variety of things, too, that PG-13.
It does. But it's interesting, too, though, because it's so different than how I grew up. Because, I mean, I grew up with, like, you know, with divorced parents. I mean, like my mom's, like, was very restrictive. Up until a certain point when she just kind of, I guess, like, relinquished control. And then, but then, like, on the other side of it, like, I went to the movies a lot and saw, like, all kinds of things. And, like, some of that was good, because, like, I developed a love of cinema. You know? And I love the fact that I've seen, like, basically every movie that came out in the 90s. But also some of it maybe wasn't good. Like, there were things that I saw that, like, maybe I would have benefited from more if I'd seen them later. And maybe it wasn't good that I saw them when I saw them, you know? Maybe they are the things that twisted me into the twisted person I am now. Like, haven't you ever thought about that? Like, the things that, like, you saw when you were a kid, and you're like, oh, I saw that when I was a kid. But then you think about it, and it's like, but is that why I am the way I am?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? I guess I would have assumed, before having kids that I would be, like, less restrictive than I have turned out to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like our kids are kind of sensitive, though, in some ways.
They are, too, but then it's hard to predict sometimes, and I think this is probably true with a lot of kids.
How they're sensitive, or how they're going to be,
Because sometimes there will be something that I totally think is, like, this is fine, and people will just be, like, devastated.
Yeah.
And then other times there's something where I'm like, oh, man. And then it's just like it flies right off their backs, so...
Yeah, exactly.
It can be really hard to predict. Although I was talking about this with a friend, and she brought up a good point, because she had been trying to figure out what is it about certain things that, would bother her child, and then other things that are fine. And she did realize that a lot of times it's like things that seem very realistic, even if they're realistic in a more, like, pedestrian or mundane kind of way, hit harder than things that a child can identify as, like, obviously fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And that does make sense.
Yeah. Then it's something that's in their world.
Because, it's like, I feel like we could watch a nature documentary and, like, if a snake eats a duck, people would be crying about it for, like, weeks, like, devastated, like, nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, you can watch a cartoon where someone's head gets lasered off, and, like, you're like, oh man, I wish we hadn't seen that. But it's like, to them, it's like nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. Yeah. Well, I just let our almost 12-year-old watch Jaws.
But you said he got scared.
Well, that was another thing where it was like the disembodied, like, parts were, like, terrifying to him. But I know that he's seen way worse stuff.
Well, he draws things that are worse than
Yeah,
anything that I've
exactly.
seen in Jaws.
No, I know, but, like, I think it was because it was realistic to him.
Yeah, well, as opposed to, like, when he's drawing, it's like he knows that he's drawing it, and also it's like a cartoon zombie or something.
Yeah.
Which is different than just, like, a leg.
Yeah, exactly. So...
He did persevere and end up finishing the movie, though, right?
He did. Well, it was a 48-hour rental, so I was determined to get to the
You
end.
were like, we are going to see this?
No, but I did want him to, like, feel like he had persevered to the
I think that he felt better about himself for having finished than if he had been, like, had tried to watch it.
I could see he was not feeling good about not being able to
just knowing him, he would have been down on himself if he hadn't finished it out at that point.
Yeah.
But I actually think with books, it's even harder to screen for things than with movies. Because, with the children's books, I mean, a lot of them I have not read because, like, some of them are new.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're making books faster than they're making movies, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's just, like, it's harder to, like, know what's going to happen. And, like, I was complaining about to you the other day, because our newly 9-year-old is at a point where she's at a transitional point. I mean, she's, like, racing to, like, grow up in a lot of ways.
Mm.
And one of those ways is that, like, she was having a little bit of a, like, kind of a struggle at the library. Because both in what she's interested in and in her feelings about herself and in, like, her just reading ability, she's kind of outgrowing that, like, chapter book section of the library.
Yeah.
But the only place to go from there is the middle grade novel section. And I was complaining to you because the middle grade novel section has caused me so much struggle for years already with our older child. Because it's like, it's a mix of books that are totally appropriate for, like, an 8-year-old to read.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like Charlotte's Web. But then beside that, there's, like, a book about somebody that's, like, 14-year-old that's having, like, dating problems.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I wish that that section was subdivided a little bit better.
Yeah.
For, like, children that can read well, so they're past that, like, early chapter book learning how to read. They can read well and they want a meatier story.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they're not necessarily ready for, like, a book where, like, something weirdly sexual might happen.
Yeah, right.
Or where, like, their parent is going to come out with a dark secret. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was reading the back of one of the books that Emerald picked up, and it was, like, so-and-so has just discovered that her father has a secret other daughter and she has mixed feelings about getting to know her new sister. And it's like, how do they explain how the secret other daughter got there? Like, this is a whole can of worms that I don't know if we want to, like, get into.
Seriously.
But that's where it's like, that's a book that, yeah, maybe you want to read that when you're, like, 12, but maybe you don't want to read that when you're 9, you know? Like, so I do wish there was a little more staging in the books between, like, just the earliest books and then suddenly you're, like, a teenager, you know?
Yes. I agree.
I realize that I'm coming off sounding like I'm about to start, like, a my own books bonfire or whatever, which is totally not what I'm saying. Like, I'm very in support of, like, the books existing.
Homeschooling parent hates books.
No. The problem is that I love books. I just want to have a slightly easier time picking interesting, appropriate books for children that are at different ages. And I think that the needs of a third grader, as far as what they should be wanting to read about, and the needs of a sixth grader are different.
Yes.
And I wish that it was easier to distinguish those sometimes in the book collection. That's all.
Definitely.
Not that I think that any of the books should be, like, taken away or anything. Except for that one book. Which, have you thrown that book away yet?
Which book was that again? What was it called?
I don't know. Do we want to, like, out the book on...
It's a very bad book.
It's a okay, this is one of those I can read books.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, like, if anyone's familiar with, like, the Charlotte Mason, like, definition of, like, a living book, this book is whatever the opposite of a living book is. Like, it's the least living book I've ever encountered, but for some reason our 3-year-old likes it.
He cries for me to read it.
He asks me to read that book at least once a day, and it's like, I hate that book so much. It's like, there's so much, okay, it's poorly written. The story is terrible. It's about, like, a cat that gets in trouble, and so the punishment is that it can't watch TV anymore, and it's supposed to take a bike ride to the lake, but then it finds out about a cake baking contest. So then it's trying to bake the cake because the prize for the cake baking contest is a TV. So really the cat's just trying to get back to the TV. But then the cat has some accidents while it's trying to bake the cake. And then it nonsensically... So the cat's favorite show that it wants to watch on the TV it's hoping to win is, like, features this, like, superhero character. And then nonsensically it turns out that the superhero character, even though there was no indication of this previously, is the judge of the cake baking contest, and so of course it picks the cake that the cat made that it decorated like the superhero, not knowing that this was the judge of the contest, as the winner. So then the cat wins the TV and, like, bikes home with it, and then the family watches the TV together. Is basically, am I right? That's basically the plot of the story.
Yes, seems like I think it was written before ChatGPT, so it couldn't have been. But, like, it feels like it was written by.
Feel like a real human being wrote this book.
No, it does not feel, like you said, like a living book.
It's not living. I hate the plot. I hate it, and it's if the plot wasn't just, like, I hate what it's about, like, the whole, like, story arc. It's so awkwardly put together.
Yeah. Like,
the part where, like, suddenly the TV character jumped, like, surprise, I was the judge of the contest. It doesn't even make sense. There was no hint of that earlier in the story.
No. For some reason he loves it, though, so I can't put my finger on why, but...
I just think that if
we do need to get rid of that word.
But he has good taste in other things.
Yeah.
He loves Where the Wild Things Are. He loves Corduroy. He loves Blueberries for Sal. Those are all very good books.
High quality.
I'm just saying, those are very living books that have stood the test of time. He loves those books, too.
Definitely.
I mean, I guess everyone has to have their, like, junk food or whatever.
Or are we just talking about 90 Day Fiancé?
Are you saying that this cat book is his 90 Day Fiancé?
Yes, exactly.
To be fair, though, I have actually learned a lot of interesting things about other countries from 90 Day Fiancé.
It's true. That is probably one of the redeeming factors of the show.
I often wish the show would focus more on that and less on some of the things it focuses on.
Yes. Like, people totally, like, almost doing it.
Yeah, like, I don't want to see the characters, like... I want them to leave the bedroom faster.
Yeah, they don't...
They need to shut the cameras off.
They linger a little too long.
I also could do without so many episodes where someone's either slowly driving to a location for like 5 episodes, or someone is at the airport
crying.
And they're crying because they don't know whether the person got on the plane or not.
Mm-hmm.
And they're waiting at the airport for like 3 episodes before you finally see the person coming like down like the baggage claim escalator or whatever.
Or like when Gino took like 3 episodes to like compose
the angry letter
to Jasmine
yeah.
that she like then read over the phone like dramatically. And
yeah, no, I don't need any of that, but like I like when we actually get like a glimpse into like life in other countries. Like I've learned some interesting things. Like for example, current day Vietnam actually looks like it has like a lot of really like it's very beautiful. It's a lot of cool stuff there.
The Philippines, meanwhile.
Philippines is doing actually slightly worse than I even imagined.
I always thought the Philippines was doing better than it apparently is.
No, the Philippines is I mean, do you recall the episode where someone died in the night because they like fell down
while
the
they
like
were filming the show.
part? So there's things like that that are like I was aware that they were struggling, but like you really do see some real struggle. But there's also things where it's like, hey, this place is really beautiful and interesting.
Colombia is beautiful.
Yes, that's another place that like I had kind of just thought about it being like very dangerous and like a lot of cocaine, but like
I'm sure it's that too.
Yes, but I do think there are places you can go there that are like nice
definitely.
and clean and beautiful and interesting. And,
absolutely.
Like, you know, so there's stuff like that I've been really glad to like have my eyes opened a little bit about things.
Definitely.
This is not a surprise, but like, man, there's a lot of places in like northern Africa that I would love to go to just to like eat the foods.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, I don't know. There's like some places where it's just like I mean, like, there's like cool like textiles and architecture and stuff too, but also just like the spices and the foods. Like, some places just like, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think I feel that way because I, like, as far as places that we're probably going to actually go, like, I don't know that I'm ever going to, like, make it to Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it would be cool.
It would be cool. I like the mounds of spices that they have.
Yes. Just saying, like, that's, like, pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, the next time you're on the show, we'll have another person in our house on the outside. Right?
Someone new at our house. I know, it's weird because I always say, like, oh, another person will be arriving, and then I'm like, she's already here. But it hits different when somebody's on the outside.
There's, like, wanting things and saying things.
Yes, like, she's very, very contained right now.
Yeah.
Once she's uncontained, she will demand to be constantly serviced in a way that, like, I am servicing her right now, but it's like...
more of an internal service.
Yes. It's like a lot of work for my body, but it's still like, I still maintain a lot of agency on the outside. It's going to be different when she gets here.
Well, thank you for growing an entire person for Father's Day.
Yes. Your present's almost ready.
I appreciate it. Alright, well, I love you. Thank you.
You're part of this win.